My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jakey and I are going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 79 fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings plays. But before we do,
I was going to promote, but this is more important, what you're about to say. Trust me, it is. Actually, you know what? I picked an absolute pristine, diamond encrusted, no blemished, perfect card last week, and I'm very proud of it. Angela, you mentioned there's a lot of haters out there, and I don't blame them. If I wasn't me, I'd hate myself too. You know what I mean? If I wasn't me, I'd hate myself too. So, perfect card, and up units. Lock of the week win, right? So
you dominated. No, you absolutely dominated, and it is funny because I'll call them, obviously haters are haters, but haters, people use that word too loosely. I'll call these people weird dweebs that are like, you didn't pick a perfect card. There was no contest.
And I get, and this is what I told somebody in Discord too. I was like, okay, it's not a perfect card, but it's a no-hitter, right? You still celebrate a no-hitter. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I actually get the people that are like kind of wishy-washy, like you can't use that terminology. It's like, well, I'm going to, but I get it. The people that are like trying to come after me, lock of the week is a loss. It's a loss. You gotta count as a loss. Fucking loss what? Motherfuckers.
She left with the belt.
Yeah, she left it with the belt, and it's not like all the bets fucking lost. Everything would have just cashed out normally, with parlays and stuff. So a loss is like,
nobody likes kicking you more than I do. The reality is, I've never picked a perfect card. I've gotten close. I had a 12-1 and 11-1 at UFC 292. This is your second perfect card, is it not? You did one like 8 months ago.
Yeah, it happens often. I've been killing it lately, and I was actually tied for first of everyone that picked on YouTube. They tagged me on Twitter, and of all the MMA pickers, I was, tied for first. Perfect card. Me and another guy. I don't know what his name is, but and this too. Support your fighters, guys. Isaac Dolgarian. I bought this, and by the way, he sells this. This is a nice little crew neck here. It's like $50, and normally if somebody's selling merchandise, you're like, oh, $50 for that. Like, what? This is like a fucking.
He probably has a local. He probably gets it made at like a local shop and not
this.
Order online.
Yeah, this is like a fucking it feels like a $75 crew neck. I mean, this is embroidered right here. It's got the right there. I'm branded.
I thought that was
Isaac
a
now.
stain. All right.
No, it says ID Isaac Dolgarian. I mean, it's fucking nice. So go to his Twitter if you guys want to buy some. Support your fighters, man. That's my dude.
Yeah, he probably has a local print press that he uses instead of.
Yeah, he shipped it local. Like wrote my name on the thing, and he's a good dude too. So because he shipped it out first, it got lost in the mail. So then he shipped another one, and he gave me a hat too. So he gave me a hat too. So
there you go.
Well, guys, get to the pitch.
Noche UFC was a success. I was dead even money line. Like there was literally like less than a couple of dollars difference. But safety parlay hit. Overall, the safety parlay, which is premium only, 99% of Jacob's bets are also premium only. And the streak that kid's been on has an absolutely nobody loves smacking him around. Nobody loves smacking him around. But
that's not part of that's not part of normal conversation.
I said that kid, not my buddy.
No, you said saying kid is not part of it, and we're having a reference to a private conversation. But
I was referring to here we go. I was referring to the podcast. I was telling somebody about it. Then I recapped that story to Jacob, and when I recapped it to Jacob, I told him that I told this person
your text right now.
Hold on, shut up, and let me slay it out. I said
slay it out, slay girl.
What I said to Jacob was, I told this guy, the kid I do the show with. In reality, I said my buddy, who I do the show with, because that's how I speak. I say buddy a lot. You guys hear it. But Jacob's all like, the kid, that's all I am. That's all I am to you.
Well, because then you were like, I wouldn't have even said that because then you quote, kid isn't natural, meaning it's not natural to say it.
Buddy,
but you just said it in a normal, natural flow. So you contradicted yourself.
Okay. Obviously, it has its own context. Like in this case, I wasn't going to say
don't get
that.
Animated. Hey.
In this case,
it's fine, right? Hey.
This is my normal. This is my level.
Hey, this is just a conversation.
In this context, it's actually very hard for me not to yell. In this context, I wouldn't have said that buddy crush the card. No, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why Kid made sense in this context. Just anyway, that Kid crushed Inoue UFC. Most of his bets are behind the paywall. The safety parlay is behind the paywall. And look what the people behind the paywall are doing. $61,000 in tagged winnings from premium members alone. These are the people who spend the $10 a month. They unlock everything. They have access to the tools, the insight, the information, the DraftKings slate of data. We have another big boy DraftKings win. Jeffrey put up 15 grand. And this just continues to happen week in and week out, which is why I show this. If I just showed one big ticket one time, maybe it's a fluke. I do it every week to remind you how successful the premium members are. BCRLP said, I just joined premium last week. Over 120 in profits last night, and it's my first week. The no contest and no draws messed up my 11-fight parlay. You guys are on point. Blah, 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 blah. Lots and lots of people with the help of the breakdowns. Look what I did. Blah, 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 blah. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. You will unlock all sorts of tools like the line movement tracker. 2 different fighters this week opened as underdogs and will close as favorites. 8 fighters had 20% movement or more. Lots of movement on this card. You're also going to unlock the detailed... What?
I was trying to look. I was trying to look at it.
Well, you'll see when we get to the... It's Jake Collier went from favorite to dog, and then...
Charles Jourdain.
Dog to favorite, or pick the other side. You're also going to get the DraftKings Optimizer. It's going to build lineups for you. We had a $63,000 winning ticket last weekend. Not Noche, the card before that. He built that with the Optimizer. You're also going to get detailed data, metrics, and analytics, and so much more. It's only $10 a month. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. More than just me and Jakey boy, you are going to get Running Mouth MMA. There are 3 of them. You're going to get Artem. Artem breaks down PFL Bellator. He's got Bellator picks and bets up right now. Same with Contender Series. And then Pick Doctor. He is an AI picking fights based off of data alone. Guys, let me send you $50. $50. You can do with it what you choose. All you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use our link to sign up with any one of our partners. Make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing. They're going to pay me. I'm going to slice off some of that money and give it right back.
Do you do that in your videos too? Your quick pick videos and stuff? Or is that just like I'm trying to be cool type thing?
Oh, Jacob's here. Let me spruce it up.
Got to try to put my name out there.
I do the whip whap only when you're around for some reason.
Yeah, well, more ways than one, I would say.
$10 super chat from Avery Marino. What's the Mega Lot prop money line laying $10K on plus money? Love premium.
Avery is a girl's name, right? Is there a guy named Avery?
Yeah, Avery's definitely a both. Goddamn.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Oh, let's pump those views up.
It's biting my
Angelo's
feet.
Noticing that everyone's watching Contender Series. He's getting a little nervous, and then he's like, we need more views. Get the puppy out. Why you pet it like that? What are you doing to that dog right now?
I'm just getting it away from my feet. Anyway, you have the Mega Lock for this guy?
I thought it was going to be this one right here, to be honest with you. And then the odds, it's like, I keep looking at the odds, and it's like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, let's go ahead and break this down. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, I appreciate
Avery
that.
Marino.
That 10 spot. Like the stream, too, if you haven't fucking liked the stream. I mean, fuck, man.
And we're already demonetized. We said the F word 30 times in the first 2 minutes.
We got that, my Saturday stream, we had over 750 likes.
All right. Great job. And I saw you had 730-ish, 50-ish every time I looked. People watching live. Those are big boy numbers.
750, popped to almost 900. The biggest pop ever, I think, was when I lost the hibachi parlay on stream. It popped like, and that was when I only had like 400 or 500 people watching. It literally popped over 1,200 of people just being like, oh man, what a fun, a phoenix rising from the ashes from that moment on. Honestly,
everyone wants to know why is Jacob doing so well lately. That loss literally changed your betting style. You said that to Josh and I in the text. You're like, it was humbling, and I've changed how I do things now.
I had over $4,000 on that card altogether, and I didn't have $4,000 afterwards. You know what I mean? So we had to really kind of reel it in, and we've been locked and loaded. That's for sure.
There we go. Let's go ahead and break down this card. Opening up UFC Vegas 79. This is our first time back at Vegas in a while, or at least for an Apex card. We have Tamires Vidal taking on Montserrat Rendon. Tamires Vidal, 7-1 overall. 5-0 in her last 5. She's coming off the second stoppage win in the UFC. She's taking on Montserrat Rendon, 5-0 in her career. Obviously 5-0 in her last 5, and she is making her UFC debut. Montserrat, UFC debut. Had to do research from scratch. And I'm like, she's a little older. She must be great at something. She must have some background.
Isn't she 36 or something?
Yeah, she's a little bit old.
36 is the new 25. If you ask me. I mean, that's the new 25.
And I was like, well, this might be like that. Who was that old kickboxer that made her debut last year?
Holly Holm.
No, no, somebody else. I was like, this might be like that situation. Let me look her up. Maybe she's got some wild, long professional career doing something else, and now she transitioned to MMA. But no, that's not the case. Montserrat Rendon is a grappler and started MMA just a little bit later in life. She's going to stay in your face. She's got a nice jab. She's going to look to work in takedowns. Her striking is a little stiff. It's a little long, but she's got a tight guard, and she's going to plot forward. She doesn't have like big, clean wrestling takedowns, but she does have a solid clinch, and then she's going to work in some trips and things like that. She is listed as being undefeated, but it did not take a lot of tape study to realize that she had a robbery in there. And frankly, undefeated prospect isn't quite the label I would throw on that, but she's tough. She's going to get in your face, and she's going to bring the fight to you. She's taking on Tamires Vidal, former soccer player, BJJ brown belt. She's immediately going to start coming forward and looking for takedowns. She's going to throw big looping punches, big powerful shots, and pressure forward, get you to the cage, look for a takedown, look for some control. Once she gets it to the ground, she's just absolutely chasing submissions. She's very dangerous on top. She can even be dangerous off her back. She's always looking to make something happen. Her striking is, technically speaking, non-existent, right? She's not a technical striker. She will just bomb away. But she is coming off that wild jump knee knockout over Ramona Pascal.
Ooh, that was your girl, too.
I liked Ramona quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. I don't. Actually, I kind of do know why, but yeah, you was and now you switch to Hannah Goldy, as we'll find out here in just a minute.
Anyway, when I broke this down originally, I do my full breakdowns on Sunday mornings. I release my quick pick videos then. I basically said this is Tamires Vidal all day long. She's better than Rendon at Rendon's best thing, which is grappling. She's younger, faster, hits harder, will have better takedowns, better jiu-jitsu. And I said she should be a minus 500 favorite. And since then, the line hasn't widened. It has shrunk. I don't know why. Tamires Vidal should absolutely dominate this fight. I don't know how she loses this fight. And that's why I don't know why money would be coming in on the other side to make it tight. But I like Tamires, and I think she absolutely gets it done. What do you think, Jakey Bumbleoats?
Yeah, just to kind of further that point, I was texting you on, I think, Monday or Sunday. I actually think it was Sunday night. And BetOnline had this game, they call it the game of circled, so they limit the action on it. And her opening odds, I think, were at minus 275, and I was like, fuck, man, I want to bet more than what they're letting me bet. I think it was only like a $50 or $100 limit or something like that. I was like, I want to put a few $100s at minus 275 because this is going to balloon to 400, 450, minus 500, and then when they finally lifted the whatever, it went all the way down to minus 200. I cannot believe in this matchup. I understand that Rendon is a tough girl. She seems somewhat durable. The level of competition hasn't been great, but she seems durable. As you mentioned, she will just keep moving forward, but she is so basic. And I mean, in her striking, it's just one, two. I mean, there is no like dynamic kicks. There's no really follow-ups. There's no extended combinations. It is just move forward. And when she moves forward, it is heavy on that front leg. And I've seen Vidal start off. If I'm in her camp, I start off with 3, 4, 5 straight just heavy leg kicks, and she will throw them heavy to really get in the head of Rendon. Because as you mentioned, she wants to be on the ground. or it seems like that's where she is the best or most comfortable, but she doesn't have any way to get it there. She gets to these body lock positions, but she doesn't have any technique and she's not strong enough. Where if she gets in a clinch against Vidal is somebody that is just pure strong enough to rip somebody down, get on top, work those submissions. In the striking, I agree, she's not super technical at all, but she's going to have the power, might even have the speed as well. I just see her just absolutely dominating this fight, and my bets reflect that for premium members for sure. So I like Vidal all the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff because why did Bet Online limit it? We have not seen them do that with any other fight. That, yeah. And all of a sudden on this one, they're going to limit it. That was bizarre. And it's not, because at first I was like, well, maybe it's because it's a heavy female favorite. And you know how some people just blindly bet women underdogs. But that doesn't make sense because last week, Knudsen went to minus 700. So that didn't happen last week. So I let us know in the comment section if you know why money is coming in on Rendon. And it's not a ton. Like, the line didn't go crazy, but we expected it to just absolutely rocket fire the other direction, which it did not do. $9,000 in DraftKings, I will probably spend that money, as crazy as it sounds, because I think she can get the takedowns and the finish. It's her second finish in a row she's coming off of.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think Rendon is in some trouble. Unless she can survive early and then Vidal gets tired maybe or something like that. But, I think she's in trouble.
Well, and frankly, I was going to have Vidal in the safety parlay, and then I was like, this is weird. Might be something I don't know. So then she is not in the safety
trust
parlay.
Your instincts.
I do have her in a parlay, just not the safety parlay, which gives me so much agita. It's so annoying. I could have 5 parlays on the board. 4 of them hit. The safety parlay misses. I could be up a ton of money. And it's just like, destroys me. It's probably when your lock of the week loses and everything else does well. It's like,
yeah, except
the one thing
I have an excuse kind of built in because they're supposed to lose,
they're underdogs.
Usually favorites, so.
Well, mine has the word safe in the name. And then when it loses,
well, mine has the word lock in the name, Angelo.
That was like sarcasm.
Not lately. So, coming off another lock of the week win.
That was a loss. A draw is a loss.
Coming off another win. Another win.
Oh, you know what I thought you were going to say? Let's see if you know what this is from. Probably not. I'm only a few years older than you.
Oh, boy.
Come on, knock on my door.
Like a sitcom?
Yeah.
Dude, I can fucking picture it too.
Yeah. Come on, knock. I don't know the rest of the words, so I'm not being very helpful. But come on, knock on my door.
There's no way I can think of it, but I know what I know I've heard that before on the TV. Yeah.
I think it was the one with the one guy lived. I don't even know the name. He died. He lived with like 3 women. Hold on. Come on, knock on my door. Three's Company too. Yeah. There it is.
Company too.
He died. What a shame. John Ritter.
We all die.
Thank you, Blunt Magic. The highest person in the chat.
But the salamander slime will live on forever. Ooh, that's almost start. Ooh, I like that. The salamander slime.
It just sounds so.
By the way, speaking of slime, I figured out I'm a great spitter.
A what?
I did my 23andMe. I was going to mention that before the whatever. And you got to spit in this thing. Really good at it. And we're going to find out in about 3 weeks what's going on.
I know what's going. It's just going to say.
I know it's going to be. Here's my guess. 50% white, obviously. 25% black.
White's not a choice.
25% Latino.
You'd have a little bit of a different.
I could feel it.
You would have Tamires Vidal complexion if we were 50% not clear. I hope it's something wild.
We're gonna open it live. Like, I'm gonna crack that case and we're gonna read it off live in a few weeks. And it's gonna be like, it's gonna change my life. It's gonna change my life.
It's not only gonna be white. It's gonna be like the whitest. It's like Scandinavia. Like
no. It's going to be at least 25% Latino. I can feel it.
Well, you are taking Rosetta Stone.
Babble.
I was gonna come back to this one and close this, but we've been so far gone off this fight. It is what it is. But if you do want to be a premium member, you can unlock everything you have ever wanted or needed for only $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You'll get the DraftKings Optimizer, which has produced. I don't want to word it as if the optimizer did all of these. So the optimizer, we know for a fact, produced at least two $50,000 plus winning tickets, according to the people who shared them with us. And our DraftKings program, our premium members who have access to all the DraftKings tools and insight, have sent us tickets of over $300 and something thousand in the last 3 months. Not 3 years, 3 months. You could be like them. WeOwnPicks.com, click become a member.
Yeah, somebody said that, and it really kind of pissed me off too. Tabatha Ricci posted, like, it seems like she's dating this dude. She's like laying in bed.
She is.
Putting with that dude's necklace on or whatever. Listen, Tabatha, I mean, I get it. Like, we haven't linked up yet and stuff like that, but to put it on Instagram and disrespect me like that is like I don't shove stuff like that in your face. You know what I mean? So, like, I guess I'm happy for you, and I guess you did that to, like, make sure I knew what was going on to get jealous or whatever, but, you know, I think there's better ways to go about that. You could have just texted me.
Yeah, he's like a good-looking Irish kid, too. Also, a professional boxer, I think.
Fuck that guy.
How do they talk to each other? Because his accent is thick as hell, and so is hers.
Hers isn't that thick.
There's no way they could have meaningful.
She's been in California for a while.
If it helps, Jacob, it's purely a physical thing. There's no way they have meaningful conversations.
I'm great at talking.
You can feel that void in her life. Next up, at UFC Vegas 79, we have Mizuki Inoue taking on Hannah Goldy. Mizuki is 14-6 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She is coming back after 3 years away and a rebuilt ACL. She's taking on Hannah Goldy. Only 6-3 in her career, 2-3 in her last 5. She's coming back after a Molly McCann knockout and about a year away. Mizuki, as I mentioned, she's been out for 3 years, but in the complete picture of her MMA career, it's not that long because she has been a professional, not training since, an actual professional fighter since she was 16 years old. And with 13 years of experience under her belt, she's pretty well-rounded. For the most part, she's a busy striker, no real power, but plenty of volume. She is coming off that layoff. I mentioned she tore her ACL, but interview after interview, she's talking about, I'm fine. I needed the break. It's better for me. And frankly, it probably is. Like, it sounds awesome making your debut at 16, your professional debut, but that's a long time. And it really, like,
I was on a professional golf tour at 16 years old.
The
Mountain Dew Junior Tour.
Yeah, the pay-to-play Mountain Dew Tour is not a professional.
It was invite only, and I nearly got kicked off. Honestly, I almost got kicked off the tour. I was like happy to go more.
For your skill set or for
literally if you
antics?
if you shot over 100 in back-to-back tournaments, that you got kicked off the tour, and I really tightened that thing in that second round because my mom's giving me that look like, you better fucking.
That's a lot of money. Suck it up. But so Mizuki, that time off might have been great for her because you make your professional debut at 16 years old. Sounds great, but it could stunt your progress as a fighter if you're immediately fighting at a certain level when those years should have been dedicated to just getting better. So anyway, she says she likes the layoff. Obviously, 3 years away is a little bit concerning, but she does have quite a bit of experience. She's been in the UFC. This is not her UFC debut. She's 1-1. She had 2 really tough fights. She lost to Amanda Lemos in a decision and then beat Yanan Wu. She's taking on Hannah Goldy. Hannah Goldy is short and jacked. She's strong as hell, but she doesn't use any of that in her fights.
Relax, Pete.
You would think
is jacked.
She's jacked. And you would think that based off of her just like build, she would come forward, bully you to the cage, rip you to the ground, and none of that. She's not a physical fighter at all. She's going to come forward, plenty of volume, mostly a striker. She does have some submission wins and submissions under her belt, but she's mostly a striker and she's very busy. She's going to dance around, stay in your face, and just pitter patter. You expect her to be powerful, and I'm sure she's strong when you're in there, but she's not cracking anybody and making stuff happening. She's coming off that knockout loss, as I mentioned, to Molly McCann. It's been about a year. This is a sloppy fight. The fact that Mizuki is a 3-1 favorite, I get it if like you zoom out and you look at their records and their experience and all that. I get it there. right? Like, oh, Mizuki went to distance with Amanda Lemos, and she's got. But if you zoom in, it's like she's been gone for 3 years, and even when she was fighting, not dangerous at all. Just not dangerous. No real power. No, just busy striker. And even in her interviews talking about this fight, she's like, I'm not going to be the more powerful striker. Hannah Goldy's not a powerful striker. So I think Mizuki's going to win just because of experience, and she should, be the more well-rounded fighter. And I think Hannah Goldy, I think she's just sort of parlaying this into her other career, which I imagine is doing pretty well for her. So, Mizuki's going to be the pick. I do have her in. What I've started doing is making a lot of 2-fighter parlays, and I keep my super confident ones together. I keep the sketchy ones together, and I've had a good amount of success doing that. I've got Mizuki in like a middle of the road. I'm not crazy confident in her, but I'm confident enough that I think something should happen. So she's going to be the pick, but honestly, I think the odds are a bit wide. Seems a little crazy. Minus 320 for somebody who's been out 3 years. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, if she didn't have that 3-year layoff, these odds would be fucking minus 750, minus 900, minus 1,000. That is just the talent level difference between these two females. Hannah Goldy looks the part. She looks like she should be a good fighter, but she has shown that she is just not a UFC level fighter. She just is not. She lost basically every single fight. That one that she won, she was getting absolutely steamrolled. Found the armbar, credit to her for that. But she just is not very good in the striking. Can get out wrestled. The biggest question mark is going to be she is trying to come down to 115. I feel like that's going to be rough for her. I feel like that's going to be pretty rough for her. And I feel like she wants to do that to try and use her big physicality. But the issue is, against a girl like Mizuki, you can't push her around. In that fight against Lemos, she was pushing Lemos around. She got dropped, stayed safe on the ground. She actually excels on the ground. So when you say she's not dangerous, I agree in the hands she's not very dangerous. But she excels in the grappling. You saw as soon as she got knocked down, very, very active guard. I believe that Hannah Goldy is going to come in and think that she can wrestle this girl and out-muscle this girl. And she's got another thing coming. This is a girl that's very, very talented. Has already fought really high-level people. A decision against Alexa Grasso on the regional scene. A split decision versus Werner Janarobi, who's a big, big wrestler. So she's been there.
That's just not her name. I'm the one who butchers names. Werner Janarobi. You said Werner John. Whatever. Go ahead. That's not what you said. Go ahead.
I would never. First of all, Verna is my girl. I would never fucking disrespect Verna. That is my girl. So she's been. I mean, she has been around. She's had that, and she was at. People mentioned in the chat. She was at Ray Longo. I mean, she had Aljo in her corner during her first couple of UFC fights. Now she's in Thailand. Has been everyone loves Shevchenko. Oh my God, Shevchenko. The girl that fucking didn't win the belt Saturday night, but showed that she actually looked a little bit better than I thought she was going to. That's who Mizuki has been training with. This whole camp, to get ready for this camp and for Chevy to get ready, Mizuki's been over there kickboxing with Shevchenko in Thailand. So she's been at good camps. She's fought good people. She's a very, very talented girl. I think she can win the striking, wear Goldy down, maybe get a TKO, or if Hannah wants to wrestle, she's going to get too aggressive and she's going to get fucking submitted. So I'm very high on Mizuki. I think she'd be minus 350, minus 400 in this matchup. Obviously, the layoff is but I think she's going to be sharp in there.
Yeah, I don't think the layoff is as dramatic as it was for Alex Reyes last week. I mean, that was the most obvious fade.
He was eating some shots. Time. I mean, that's what somebody said too. Well, that's what somebody said in my in the live chat too. They're like, damn, maybe Dominic needs to take 6 years off to fucking save his chin because he was eating the fucking crazy shots.
No, I mean, and that's a shame. And honestly, just the fact that he made it back in the cage, he was just trying to prove something to himself. And
he had wild health issues.
Win or
too.
Lose,
blowing out your knee is not really that big a deal these days,
No, yeah, it just takes
not like
just takes time.
Last night. Yikes.
What? Oh yeah, dude. That I don't even watch. I'm not a diehard football guy.
Yeah, it was everywhere, probably.
Yeah, yeah, dude. You know what's shocking? That there's not more of that.
That's just such a perfect timing thing because his leg had to be planted right when the hit. Yeah, full planted right when it hit, and yeah, it's a tough situation. He's a good guy too.
It is gross. But anyway, so are you going to spend the $9,200 on Mizuki? You think she's going to win by finish and she's worth that money, or not?
I think she's gonna submit Hannah Goldy. Hannah Goldy's probably gonna fade in this fight hard with that weight cut. I mean, Mizuki stays in your face, man. I mean. She didn't give a fuck about Amanda Lemos. I'll tell you that. She was in her face the entire time, man.
Yeah, I mean, I do think this will go a decision. I do not think she's nearly as dangerous as you do. But I get where you're coming from, and I get the resume looks good on paper. I just, let's put it this way. I did not take the over 2.5 and parlay it in, I thought about it, but I didn't. But I do think the over 2.5 hits because I don't think either one of them are very dangerous. But didn't do anything with it.
You're going to find out when this hits the ground. It's going to be.
Hey, listen. Maybe I'll
She
take
was
your
at
word
she was
for
at
it.
Longo.
Oh. Didn't they just lose their asses at UFC 292? All of them?
They did.
Like, literally all of them?
Well, Matt Fravola's still doing his fucking thing, so.
Well, all the ones that fought, I mean. Well, and Marab. I mean, we're just listing anybody that's there. But hold on. I'm pulling up the odds real quick. The under is plus 240. I mean, maybe I ride the Jacob wave. I don't feel like
I think that's some of the best value on the card. Especially, I mean, for the skill level difference, that's enough to sprinkle on the plus 240 under 2.5, or does not go down, whatever you want to play, whatever. I even make more specific. I mean, I played Mizuki inside the distance. The skill gap is way wide.
Yeah,
this is like if we fought.
It could be. We might see our first death in the cage in that case.
I agree.
I actually don't think whatever. Personally, I think the weight cut would probably affect her more than the skill cut. I just don't think Mizuki's dangerous. You're making her sound like a killer on her feet, a killer on the ground.
No, I'm just talking about just knowing what the fuck she's doing, knowing how to throw a combination, know how to get a takedown, know how to throw it. I mean, it's just like, its skill gap is just way different. Like you said, she's been doing this since she was fucking 16. Hannah Goldy's just been, Mizuki's been training for this fight. Hannah Goldy's been training for OnlyFans. Trust me.
Trust me, he said. Well, maybe I throw a quarter of a unit on the under, and if it misses, I will PayPal or
I tell you what,
request you.
I was going to say, you put a half a unit on it. Put a full unit on it. If it doesn't hit, I'll pay you back. But it's going to hit.
No, I don't want that.
Okay.
I mean, it would be nice, obviously, but I'm not gonna. That's just you betting and giving me the winnings. That's all that is.
Yeah, I want that. I already have it bet, so.
All right. Well, stop giving away the premium. WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It's only $10 a month, and you can see that bet that Jacob just gave you for nothing. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Also, it sounded like I just said WeWantPiss.com. $20 super chat from Avery again. Liking Vidal Malkoun battle at plus 172. Jacob has no Tabatha Ricci Riz. His Amanda Hebos Riz is much better than his Tabatha Ricci Riz.
Tabitha Ricci put me in her fucking Instagram story.
So did Amanda Hebos.
And she put me in a post as well.
Yeah, look at the glowing. And...
So, it's not a big deal. But I did wish her happy birthday a few weeks ago, and she did not respond. And that still kind of eats at me. Not a thank you, not even a like.
Cold as ice. Well, thank you for the $20 super chat. I do agree that's probably a pretty solid parlay, and we'll get to those fights.
No.
Well, Jacob and I feel very, very, very differently on one of those fights.
Speaking of nice tit.
Next up at UFC Vegas 79, we have a battle of the heavyweight titans. We have Mohammed Usman taking on Jake Collier. Mohammed Usman 9-2 overall, 1-4-1 in his last 5, coming off that very, very sloppy win over Junior Taffa. Taking on Jake Collier, 13-9 overall, 1-4 in his last 5, coming off that decision loss to Martin Bidet. Jake Collier, we mention this every single time. This dude is a middleweight. Then Jack in the boxed it up, moved his way up to light heavyweight. Then just absolutely hammered that CC's $5 all-you-can-eat buffet. And now he's a heavyweight. And I don't mean the fat
Is that good, the CC's? I'll be honest. The commercials make it look good. Have you had the CC's?
I had CC's once in my life. And,
there's not any around here, is there?
I have no. Well, there must be because Tiffany's the one who's like, we gotta go to Cece's. I mean, it's what you expect.
That's the octave of her voice now too.
Yeah.
We gotta go to Cece's.
When talking about Cece, it's what you imagine a $5 buffet being.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, did you have any? And this was my favorite. Anytime I went to visit my grandparents, they always took us here, and it was the best thing in the fucking world. Old Country Buffet. Old Country Buffet.
Yeah. I liked Cold Country. We had a Ponderosa.
Oh my god, dude! Every time I would go, I would get a chicken leg, and I would get some Jello, and I would get a cinnamon roll. And their cinnamon rolls were the fucking shit. Fried chicken was good too, man.
Dude, we would go to Ponderosa, which was the buffet, and I was 12 until I was like 17. He's 12. And I've been tall my whole life, so it wasn't like, I looked small. Like, no, he's 12.
Yeah, when I went to eat with my parents when I was in high school, I got kids' menus. So,
yeah, there you go.
Literally, here you go. Here's your crayons. I'd be like, I'm fucking 17 years old. What are we doing here? Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. What's your number?
Yeah, that's exactly how that. I'm so sorry. Can I sign your cast? Because you're just weak and feeble. Anyway, back to this. Should I just start this over?
No, just keep it
Jake
rolling,
Collier has worked his way up to heavyweight, but surprisingly, he's actually a pretty well-framed guy for the weight class. He's got a solid chin. He's got good cardio. He has decent volume. Like, you're making that face, dude. He's got better cardio than Usman does. Of course he does. Anyway,
I think so.
He's a busy striker. He's going to come forward. He's going to kind of stay in your face. He doesn't really wrestle that often, but he does have a few takedowns in his back pocket. He fought Andrei Arlovski. A lot of people think he beat Andre in that fight. It was kind of a close decision that a lot of people think should have gone his way. He had 2 takedowns in that fight, and he's coming off that decision loss to Martin Bidet, where the reality was the difference was just Martin's activity. He's taking on Mohammed Usman. This is Kamaru Usman's younger brother? Yeah, younger brother, but much larger brother. He didn't have the wrestling background that Kamaru did, but he was a big-time college football standout. Transitioned to MMA a little bit later in life. He's a big guy. He's obviously training at a decent high level, getting the looks in, getting that experience in. He's surrounded by very, very good people. He is evolving, but the reality is he's going to come forward and he's going to look to wrestle, but he's not a wrestler. He's not a wrestler, but that's what he's going to do. He's going to come forward, try to get you to the ground, throw big punches. He is very, very, very tough. He knocked out Zach Pauga, but outside of that, he's not really this like one-hitter, quitter, knockout kind of guy. He's going to come forward. It's a little sloppy. He's going to be big, physical. He's an athlete, obviously, to play football at that level. Fast, powerful guy, but he is turning into a wrestler. What's funny? All right.
Talking about Angela, let me tell you, your English, not good at all. Actually, it's really bad. Have you ever thought about making your videos in your first language and just adding subtitles? Shit.
That guy sucks. This is a weird card, all in all, right? This entire card is loaded with people that are not very good. A lot of older fighters, a lot of layoff fighters, a lot of... UFC has a legal obligation to offer every single fighter on their roster 3 fights. And this is one of those cards where they're like, we have to throw these offers out there and get these people booked before the end of the year.
Damn, he's got a tough tattoo.
Yeah, Jesus. And it's like, looks like a lefty did it. But that's what makes these cards hard, because what ends up happening is you have decent-sized favorites, like Mohammed Usman, minus 155. That's not a massive line. That's not the Mizuki line we just broke down. But minus 155 is... I see you just spamming the chat with instantly as soon as I say it. Just trying to rile these people up. My daughter's a lefty.
Angelo hates left-handed people.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
Instantly threw that out there.
Get him, guys.
Anyway, my point being, you get weird cards like this with a lot of people that really... Are they even at this level? Should these people really be in the greatest fighting organization on the planet? And
Jesus
the odds,
Christ.
the greatest fighting organization on the planet at this level, this should only be the best of the best. And Mohammed Usman, he's a little untested, 9-2. He should be on the regional scene, getting a little better. honing in those skills. He did beat Junior Tafa. He went 2 for 12 on takedown attempts. 2 for 12. So I think Usman's going to win because he's far more athletic. He's probably going to be faster, definitely going to be more powerful. But this could be a Jay Collier pot shot his way around. Minus 155 seems wide. Pot shot. That's what it's called.
Pot? It's
pot shot.
It's pop.
No, it's pot shot.
No,
P-O-T-S-H-O-T. No, it's not.
It's pop shot.
No, it isn't. That's the basketball game at the arcade.
No, it's pop shot.
No, it is not. It is P-O-T-S-H-O-T. Pot shot.
Pop.
Sure isn't. Anyway, point being, I'm going to pick Usman literally because of the physicality. He is fast. He's athletic. He's the kind of guy that if he started a little earlier, he absolutely could be a very, very good fighter. But he started a little later. He's trying to put these things together. He's starting to turn into a wrestler for whatever reason, and it's just not there. Jay Collier's got the experience. Jay Collier's got the volume. I do think he has the cardio. I'm still picking Usman, but this is a no bet for me other than the round line. A 1.5 round line on this fight was a gift. This was a gift of a round line. I hammered the over. Dude, neither one of these guys are dangerous. You're going to see Usman knock Pauga. That still went over 1.5 rounds. And Pauga's a light heavyweight. What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be, in my mind, it's just an all-around, just no-bet situation. Obviously, for the live stream, we're going to find something. It's probably going to be on the Usman side because he is the true heavyweight, right? I mean, that guy couldn't. Jake Collier, we've seen him at 185. We've seen him at a lower weight. Usman, I don't know if he could get below 230 if his life depended on it. So he's going to be the bigger guy, the more physical guy. He's shown that he knows how to use that physicality inside the cage. Even if the striking isn't going well, he'll just shove you against the fence. He'll hold you there. He'll lay on you. And I don't think Jake Collier is going to honestly be able to get out of those situations if they arise. So if Jake Collier comes in and he's shown lately that he really doesn't give a fuck and he comes in aggressive, he gets in your face and it's kind of like, let's just see what will happen. If he does that and kind of overwhelms Usman, there is a situation where there could be like a weird TKO, something like that. So I don't fully trust Usman. He's going to be my pick, but that's just based on like literally for physical attributes because both these guys are not the best fighters in the world. I agree. Usman's not he's sloppy. Jake Collier's a little bit more experienced, but also sloppy. And I disagree with the cardio. Jake Collier lately is a guy that's been going all in the first round, and he cannot catch up in the second and third rounds, which is good for Usman because if this was one of the situations where I knew that Jake Collier was like a crafty vet that could weather the storm and one of those guys that can go, that I've seen him constantly go, I'd be all over it, but Jake also kind of blows his load in the first round and then Usman could just kind of lay on him for the next 2 rounds, honestly. So I'm going to Usman here, but I don't completely trust him.
Well, frankly, the Jake Collier that fought Andrei Arlovski, and that was a few years ago, would beat Mohammed Usman in this fight. Absolutely. He looked good in that fight. A lot of people think he won that fight. So, I mean, you and I basically have the exact same breakdown and pick. We both picked Usman because he is just a big, powerful athlete.
I said I'd pick Usman, but I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. And I can lift up 350 pounds easy. Angelo.
Wow.
So keep that in mind. You're right at that limit.
I'm right there. You're so strong. 350 pounds. Wow.
Over. Shoulder press.
And it's going to be a weird fight because a lot of people are hammering Mohammed Usman's money line. And I say hammering, it's not really moving. But a lot of people, I mean, he went from a plus 165 dog to a minus 155 favorite. But, okay. I guess we'll just wait for this to happen.
Yeah.
Wow, great job. Great job. Well, now, look, you have these people convinced you can bench 350.
Midwest chopping, baby.
Okay. Why does it say chopping and not chop up?
That's the most old man question I've ever heard in my life. Why does it say chopping? That ain't how you spell chopping.
No, the shirt says chopping. Oh, fine, it says chop in, but I thought he's the Midwest chopper. So why wouldn't it say Midwest chopper?
Yeah, he's the chopper, and he's chopping, baby. That's what the choppers do.
Yeah. Anyway,
that ain't how you spell it. There's a G at the end of that. You're the old man that tries to be funny. Your shirt's misspelled.
Like that guy that you lived across the street from you, you'd hang out in his basement watching Titanic or whatever else?
He wasn't old, and he was gentle. The Titanic thing was completely different. Those were an old couple, and they invited all the neighborhood kids to go down to their basement to watch the Titanic. But they weren't down there. It's not like they were like down there with us. They just came to switch out the VHS because remember it was a 2 VHS because Titanic was talking 4 hours long. So they came down and switched it out and left us down there with their Furbies too. They had Furbies.
There was multiple perverts in this neighborhood. Multiple.
That guy always had a brand new Corvette. Every year he had a brand new Corvette. He would always be like, you want to come see my Corvette?
See?
Shit.
We're all waiting for the day when it just clicks in your mind. One day you're gonna get
it's gonna happen on this or my Saturday live stream. I'm gonna make some joke, some specific joke that's just gonna trigger it. I'm just gonna go.
No, you're gonna watch that movie, that human trafficking movie that got canceled. You're gonna watch that, and it's all gonna come rushing back to you. Yeah, it happened right now. See, well, if you want to fund Jacob's recovery, WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month, and we will get him the best therapist to dig up what troublesome things happened in his childhood. You're also going to unlock all the tools, the bets, the information, anything you have ever needed to make some money and have some fun watching these fights. Just go to WeWantPicks.com and click Become a Meadow. Meadow. Oh, my God. Member. I said Meadow because I'm reading this about pedo, and then I just did the whole thing. Jacob didn't grow up in Florida.
Otherwise, we're going to get demonetized. And you can't say that word.
It's going to be rough. It is going to be rough. Dr. Y, $1.99 super chat. He said, I made a THC SHOOTER called Pot Shots. I'm not trying to get canceled. Saying words out loud and letting the algorithm hear it. Thank you very much, Dr. Y. And if you are
talking about me being abused in a basement, 2 basements.
Well, that's therapy.
Did you ever see what's the new-ish Ethan Hawke movie where he's like
Predestination? He has sex with himself, has his own kid.
I don't watch.
Did you see that movie?
Movies. No.
He has his own kid. It's a wild movie. It's a wild movie.
And how'd you stumble upon this?
It was like a big movie, and it's like one of the most talked about movies
recently.
5-6 years. You said
I said one of his. Newish. No, I said new. Like I think it was his newest movie.
Black Phone.
Yeah.
I did not.
That was pretty wild, man.
I did not see. He's the villain, right? Wild. I did not see.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I'll be honest. It was like it was more. I thought it was like an actual like kidnap type movie, but it was like more like.
I mean,
weird than that, but it was still good. It was still good. It was like it got more weird, but even it was like right on the edge of being like, oh, okay. But then it was pretty good.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't watched a movie in the last movie I watched was Elemental.
Barbie.
Great. I haven't. I don't know if I'm gonna let the kids watch that.
But you have. You got to screen it first, right? You got to screen it first.
It's PG-13. That's the only thing that's like, man, like what? Why is it?
You know, the new Call of Duty video game is going to be rated M for mature, so we can't wait for that.
Isn't that all of them?
Not the I think the old school ones, but then they started catering more to like Fortnite crowds, so they had to be more like normal about it to capture like the younger audience. But now I think they're just back to like done. Fuck it. Like World at War was the best. Like you could shoot. You watch people's legs get blown off with grenades in World at War. Their arms fucking get blown off and stuff. There's blood everywhere. That's the shit I like. Blood, yeah.
The last Call of Duty I played was like Modern Warfare 2 maybe, where you can like hide in the bus and stuff. That was fun. I haven't played since. It's been a long time. Yep, there was a bus. Next up. At UFC Vegas 79, we have Jacob Malkoun taking on Cody Brundage. Jacob Malkoun, 7-2 overall. 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that wrestle-heavy win over Nick Maximov. He's taking on Cody Brundage, 8-5 overall. 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight skid and fighting for his job. Jacob Malkoun is a grappler. He's going to plot forward. He's going to throw everything. He does throw with power. I've mentioned this many, many times. He doesn't even throw anything straight. Everything's looping. His jab is looping. His looping shots are looping. No straight punches. He comes in looping and then immediately starts just shooting wrestling takedowns, trying to get it done. His wrestling takedowns are nice. I appreciate them. He actually lowers his level, shoots takedowns, gets to the legs, runs right through them.
The way that he cuts those corners is By the way, on the stream, you would have been proud of me. I don't think you watched the stream, but one of Chevy's takedowns, I was like, oh man, she cut that corner really well because Alexa was like almost out of it, and she fucking turned that corner, and then immediately Cruz was fucking before DC could say anything. Cruz all over it. He's like, oh my god, the way she cut that corner.
Well, we'll talk about that in the main event because Henry Cejudo did a whole thing, just literally drawing circles around Gamrot and how amazing he is at running in circles. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, Jacob Malkoun shoots very real takedowns, lowers his level, blasts the legs, tries to work right through them. His shots are pretty clean. They're right in the middle of the cage, and it all works for him. He's averaging more than 7 takedowns per fight. He's coming off that win over Nick Maximov, who was also, I believe, a Division I wrestler or something to that effect. And his takedowns were relentless. His chin was a little suspect, whereas takedowns were relentless in that fight. He's taking on Cody Brundage. This guy's a heavy-handed, kill or be killed wrestler. He has no problem coming forward, throwing heavy, working in that wrestling. He does have a pretty high-level wrestling background himself, and he brings that into the cage. He's averaging 3 takedowns per fight, but even dominant wrestling performances cannot keep him safe. He's coming off that ridiculous loss to SD Dumas where it was clear he could dominate. He started by dominating and then just started pulling guillotine and just horrible decision after horrible decision.
Wasn't that I'm starting to remember
short
now.
Notice.
I know, but wasn't that like a card that like was weirdly like early in the morning too or something like that?
It was
Like
Jacksonville.
yeah, so I think it was the first. I think it was like 10 a.m. or something like that because it looked like he was not even fucking awake for that fight.
Well, the first minute he looked like that was it. Yeah, there we go. He's gonna destroy this guy. Blah blah blah. And then he just started pulling guard. All of a sudden, SD Dumas looked like he knew how to wrestle. So, I mean, Josh Frem smoked that dude. And then Cody Brundage struggled with him. But what makes Cody Brundage so tricky is he's so talented. He's riding a 3-fight skid, but he has looked good in every single one of those fights before they went the other way. He dominated McCall Olin-Jaychuk early with the wrestling. He almost had Rodolfo out on his feet, and he was dominating SD Dumas. And then he just starts to make these poor decisions and it's like, I don't know if he just gets too excited. I don't know what happens. The Rodolfo Vieira one is insane. He pulled guillotine there too after almost knocking that dude clean out. It's crazy. It is crazy. And because of the poor decision making, I have to pick Jacob Malkoun. Minus 450 seems absurd for a guy that's a bit chinny. Cody Brundage hits like a freight train. Cody Brundage was a very good high-level wrestler. This could be the biggest upset of the card. Absolutely. But I'm still going to go with Jacob Malkoun because I trust him to just relentlessly keep shooting takedowns, and I can't trust Cody to make the right decisions. But Cody's the more talented fighter in this matchup. He just makes terrible decisions and gasses pretty quickly. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, your hatred for Jacobs must run pretty fucking deep because I think he probably has no issues in this fight. I mean, he's the better wrestler. He's a better grappler. That's what this fight's going to simply come down to. Cody Brundage, as you mentioned, in his last fight, looked flat. I have to imagine that had something to do with like fighting in the morning or something.
It was short notice, too.
There was no fight in that dude. I mean, there was no fight in that dude late in that fight. Or I mean, starting even like in the second round of that fight. Once he started losing, it was like, oh, man, I'm fucking done. And there was no fight. I mean, it was not a good look. But yeah, Jacob Malkoun should be the better wrestler, but that is the one thing that does to keep in the back of your mind is the fact that he can get knocked out. And as you mentioned, Cody does hit hard, but I don't think he's going to have any issues. Quick breakdown. Jacob wins. We don't lose.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I do have Jake. I mentioned I have these like little parlays. I do have, excuse me, what I'm calling the sloppy favorites parlay. I have Tamires, Vidal, and Jacob Malkoun in that. Because they both should win, but I can, you just never know. I trust them less than some of these other parlays that I've got going. $9,500 in DraftKings. If you think Jacob Malkoun wins, he should be worth it. Because even if this is a decision somehow, I mean, that guy just absolutely is going to put some real numbers on the board with the wrestling, with the grappling. I do also have a round prop parlay. The over 1.5 on this fight is in that because if you think Jacob wins, that is who I think wins, I think this will go over 1.5 rounds. I think this may look like that SD Dumas fight with Jacob winning the grappling exchanges, Cody just making some poor decisions, and it's going to go a little longer. Jacob's not the most dangerous guy in the world, but he is a relentless wrestler, and I think that's what this is going to look like. So we're both on the same side. You're a little more confident than I am. Are you going to spend the $9,500 in DraftKings Fantasy?
The one thing I will mention for DraftKings is if you pick Jacob in DraftKings, you probably want a good Cody Brundage to show up because Jacob will still out-wrestle him, but he'll get more takedowns because Cody is good enough to get back to his feet from time to time. But if he shows up and just lays flat on his back, you're not going to score as much because Jacob's not a super dangerous guy in submissions or anything. It's a lot of just control. So he might either get one takedown for each round, and he's only going to score, 70, 80 points, something like that. Or if Cody shows up, he could get 4 or 5 takedowns around, and all of a sudden he's like an optimal lineup type guy. So it's kind of a weird situation to play. I don't know.
I think he'll get. The guy averages 7 takedowns per fight. That happens because he has terrible control. So other people are getting up. Hopefully Cody can too. But I agree with you.
And if you're going to have chest hair, that's the way to do it.
Just fuck it. Leave it out.
I mean, that's like a little bit more extreme than Roman Dolidze's, but that's one tell me you wouldn't mind falling asleep on that chest, to be honest with you.
It's just so wild. Like his haircut, his beard, it's all like perfectly trimmed. And then like neck down, he's like, whatever. Whatever it is, it is.
Great hairline too, man. He's got that Paul George hairline.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Paul George, his hairline.
Right. Do anything you want with it. Eyebrows up. Anyway, Jakey and I both on the same side. I guess I have 2 bets here. I got Malkoun in a parlay, and then I have the over 1.5 round line in a parlay as well. But if you want to see all the bets, including Jacob's, the Artem's, and Running Mouth MMA's, there's 3 of them. So you have 5 people's worth of bets to look at, learn from, analyze, and then the data and everything else. WeWantPicks.com. Just click become a member. It's only $10 a month. $5 super chat from Jeffrey Platitz. If you are watching this and don't have premium but bet every week, how many $10 bets are you going to lose before joining premium? Quit being a damn cheapskate. Thank you, Jeffrey. Nothing makes me happier than a super chat that promotes premium. Very, very genuinely appreciated. That dog is just roaming free somewhere. Hopefully he's asleep because I don't need Tiffany coming home from work to just piss.
He probably climbed into the dryer. I had an aunt that one time actually put one of her cats through the dryer, and it lived, but it was not quite the same.
On purpose?
Not on purpose, Angelo. It just happened to crawl in there because it had the dryer open, and she just threw clothes in there and started up, and I don't know how long it was in there, but they were wondering what the hell is that?
Oh my God.
And I think it was in there for longer than you would like because it was
oh my God.
Not a great situation, but I think it lived a nice, not a healthy life, but it lived.
Jesus. Well, that sucks. Poor thing. I actually like cats, but I would have rather had a cat than a dog.
That does not surprise any of us.
There's just no maintenance. I need less maintenance. I need fewer things to take care of.
Sitting on the couch, got the feet up, got the reading glasses on with your wine, stroking your pussy.
Dude, Jesus. I haven't had wine since Saturday night.
Ooh, hold your hand out.
I'm shaking. Yeah, things are not well. Next up, at UFC Vegas 79, we have Tim Dirty Bird Means taking on Andre Fialho. Tim Means 32-15 overall. 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that submission loss to Alex Morono. What the hell are you doing? Is that a dance called the Dirty Bird?
You don't know the Dirty Bird dance?
That is what that is?
The Dirty Bird, baby. Yeah, man.
Jesus Christ. Taking on Andre Fialho, 16-7 overall. Also 2-3 in his last 5. Both of these guys riding losing streaks. Andre Fialho, unfortunately, is a 3-fight knockout skid. Tim Means, high volume, gritty, in your face kind of guy. He can work in a takedown if he needs to. He does have some tricky striking because he's got that karate style. He's going to move back and forth super wide. And it's hard to put him in any one category or give him one single path to victory because he is pretty well-rounded. That's what 47 fights will do for you. He's a very active guy. He's got a frustrating style. He is coming off that submission loss to Alex Morono, but his wrestling looked phenomenal leading up to that guillotine. Taking on Andre Fialho. This guy's a striker. He's got a nice jab, heavy leg kicks, solid takedowns when he needs them as well. He's got a huge power in his hands. He's very tough, but he's also very hittable, and his chin is gone. That'll never be back. That thing is gone. He has a negative,
like a Lego. He's got kind of that Lego person head.
Well, Marvin Vettori has a Lego head, but his chin is holding up. He has a negative 3 to 6 striking differential, and if he doesn't get the knockout, he pretty much just ends up being outvolumed, outstruck, outworked. He's coming off his third knockout loss in a row, this time to Joaquin Buckley, and I believe that was his second fight at 170 after coming down from 185. Andre, the line obviously it's interesting because when I broke this down on Sunday, Andre Fialho was a 2-1 favorite. So the line opened with Andre as a minus 145. There you go. The line opened.
Look at this.
That is pretty sad. The line opened at minus 145 favor for Andre. Then that line took off, and Andre ended up being a 2-1 favorite, if not a little more. And then it's come back down to reality, and now he's a minus 171 favorite. I get why he's the favorite. Tim Means is 39 years old, and Andre Fialho is a very dangerous guy. But and to top that off, Andre Fialho is getting knocked out. Tim Means is not a knockout guy. He's not this big power guy that's going to come in there, knock you out. Like, that's just not how Tim Means fights. So the bookies and the money are saying that, listen, Tim Means is 39 years old. He's probably not going to outwork this guy. He's going to get caught. I disagree. I am going to pick Tim Means in this fight. I know he's going to be a lot of people's favorite underdog. There's not that many super exciting underdogs on this card, and Tim Means is going to be one of them because I think he's going to come forward. I think he can be busy. I think Andre Fialho's chin is long gone, and I think Tim Means can stay in Andre's face literally close enough to avoid the power. I think there won't be any range. He'll be right in his face. I think he will work in the takedowns like he did against Alex Morono, and I think Tim Means is going to win this fight. So Tim Means is the pick, but confidence level for me is low. What do you think, Jakey boy? I'm going to go get this dog. You keep talking.
Oh, boy. Here we go. You want to take those headphones out, too, so we can really get down to the
whole time.
Yeah, I'm on the Tim Means side here, too, and I fully understand the age factor. And honestly, if you would have asked me after the Max Griffin fight, which that's a split decision loss. He got dropped in the first round, but he handled it pretty fine. He outstruck Max Griffin, I think, by 90 total strikes. Not significant strikes, but like 90 total strikes. So there was a weird... I mean, he could have gotten that decision. But even after that fight, if you would have had me pick him going into this fight after that fight, if that made any sense at all, I wouldn't have picked him. I wouldn't have felt good about it because you started to see the age in Tim Means. Now, he hung tough. He could have won that fight, but you started to see kind of the slowing down in the combinations. He was getting hit a little bit more. So it looked like he was getting to that point where it's like, all right, he is towards the end of his career. Then he comes in against Alex Morono. He's looking fantastic. Wins the first round. Is fucking the dude up on the feet. Getting takedowns. He ended up falling into that guillotine. If you guys do not know, Alex Morono is literally one of the best grapplers in the UFC that you probably never heard of. This guy's like a triple black belt or something stupid. Nice guillotine. So it happens, right? He gets in a guillotine by that guy. But he was fucking Alex Morono up and looked really, really sharp. And he said after that fight, listen, I know that I'm towards the end of my career. I'm not delusional, but I feel like I still have a few more left in me. And I believe him. I mean, he looked fantastic. That was just in the spring. It wasn't like it was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I think he can come in here, look sharp, mix in the wrestling. That's very important. Now, Andre Fialho isn't a guy that stays down once he's taken down, but just to kind of break up the rhythm and get him tired, because Andre Fialho, once he starts, every minute that passes in this fight is going to be better for Tim Means and better for Tim Means, especially if he is mixing in the wrestling and the takedowns. And I just think that, yeah, Andre Fialho is the younger guy. He is probably the more dangerous guy. He's probably even the more technical guy, but his chin hasn't held up. He fades in fights. And if somebody gets in his face and just out-toughs him, I just think Tim Means can be the dirty bird in this fight, get in his face, make it dirty, get some takedowns, and just wear this guy down until eventually just kind of overwhelms him. So I'm actually pretty high on Tim Means this week just because he looked sharp in his last fight, and Fialho has shown me nothing. Nothing. And by the way, too, I don't know if this is a little bit biased or something, but my lock of the week streak about this time last year, right? And we're on a nice little streak now because Alexa Grasso won. That was a win. I had won 10 in a row, Angelo, last year, right? Remember that? I had 10 lock of the weeks in a row. record. Nobody will ever do it again.
It was this time a year ago?
Yeah, because we went to Bill Burr during it too, and Bill Burr was in September, I think, wasn't it? Something like that. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I had won 10 in a row. Already won. I was going for 11 in a row. I picked Cameron Van Camp against Andre Fialho. Andre Fialho. He did break that streak, but even in that fight against a regional guy in Cameron Van Camp, he got put on skates. Even in that fight, he was put on skates, and eventually he started getting knocked out. So I do have a little bit of hatred for Fialho. He broke my streak. We're on a nice little streak now. So I'm going with the Dirty Bird to get my revenge.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, we just broke it down in depth, but I get on paper why Andre's the favorite. He probably should be the favorite. Younger, more dangerous, and his issue is his chin, not his skill set. And Tim Means is not the big power guy, but Tim Means is just a gritty, grindy, nonstop kind of guy. And if you go to his regional fights, he hasn't lost a fight like that in the UFC. Obviously, the Michelle Pajeda fight. What the hell are you doing? Oh, obviously the Michelle. Oh God. Oh my God. Don't do that again.
Why did you act like that?
Because it was just so loud in my ears when you did.
But you were like, it looked like you had a weird look at it. So maybe rewind that back because you were like, oh my God.
It was so.
It was like I looked at your face and you were like, oh my God.
I got a bird thing apparently. But like Andre Fialho was outworked by Michelle Pajeda, but that was mostly striking, and Tim Means should not be mostly striking in this matchup. He should be grappling, but Jacob and I both on the Tim Means side. I'm probably a little less confident than Jacob is. Therefore, $7,300 in DraftKings makes a little sense. You need some underdogs, and he's probably one of the better, higher scoring, more live underdogs in this matchup. Even in his last fight against Alex Morono, was out grappling him. Doing well, would have put up some very real numbers if that fight continued.
He's fucking
he looked good in that fight.
All over the place. And that's what the wrestling is, the part that I like. If he was just another old school tough striker against Fialho, I'd be like, it's not worth it.
That wouldn't
but having that wrestling in the back pocket is really, really huge in this matchup.
100%. Tim Means, both of our pick. If you want to see the rest of our picks, but also our round line leans for every single fight. I will tell you over, under on every single round. I'll also give you confidence levels for every single pick. So will Artem and others. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member, and the amount of content you're going to get there is absolutely insane. And if you don't care about any of that stuff, it's still a phenomenal way to support us and Jacob's journey to uncovering his dark suppressed memories. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member.
You know where those memories would never surface?
Brazil.
Curitiba, baby. We still got the dream. I got an invite to Guadalajara. I got an invite to Guadalajara. So I'm telling you, I'm at least, and now that the more I think about it, it's got to be 35% Latino of some sort.
Why do you like so camera shy?
Wow, way to be dramatic about it. Everyone look at me, but don't look at me type situation here.
Did you get punched in the face or something? You have a black eye you're covering up?
Yeah, look at that.
She's been on camera.
That was Oscar worthy there. Oh, do you have a black eye or something? What a randomly specific thing to bring up, Angelo, in case something would arise. Do you have to have a black eye or something?
Did you fall at work and potentially
hurt yourself? Oh my God, did
yourself?
You just hit your eye on the way in? Like you try to get it on camera? Oh my God, and she's like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. Oh my God, look at your eye. Oh my God. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw it? She ran into the door. You saw it?
Do you really think
that bruise looks like it's 6 hours old?
Do you really think, knowing her, that I could hit her and get away with it?
Fuck no.
I would die in my sleep.
She would kill me after she killed you just because.
Yeah, it's just so everybody knows. Just so everybody knows.
You're the one that makes him angry, not me. She would fucking come after me. You should see his attitude after every Tuesday. He gets in bed. He's just so flustered.
All wound up. So, yeah. No, I don't beat my wife. Somebody said Angelo's keeps showing off that dog. It's like a kid with whatever. It's not by choice. It's not by choice. She just got home from work, which is probably why she's covered her face. And it's still a puppy. And if I just let that thing run the house, I do get stressed. He's going to like piss on something. And then Sunday mornings when I film quick picks, I film that at 7 in the morning. I live with 3 women. They are all lazy, in the mornings. Every single one of them is a slow starter to the day. So I'm up at 5 every day, ready to go. So is the dog.
That guy says, I don't know why that was so funny. Angelo Beach's wife confirmed. Then somebody said, Daniel, do you really know these dudes for real? And he's like, yeah, I know them. No, he fucking doesn't. I don't know why that's so funny, though. Yeah, I know. Of course I do.
Not only does he not know us, he's like, one day I am going to hide. I wish I could see the hidden comments. That would be the best.
That would be the best, yeah.
On YouTube, you can hide people, and when you hide them, it's not like a block. Like if you block somebody on Twitter, they know they're blocked, and they can see blocked. When you hide somebody on YouTube, they have no idea. They can see everything. They can comment. They can do everything. It just goes nowhere. It's just into a void. It goes absolutely nowhere. But even we can't see it. I wish I could, because I would hide Daniel in a half a second and just watch him type all his stupid bullshit nowhere to nobody about nothing. So yeah, fuck that guy.
How are your nipples?
Well, this one, as you know, has always a little out. This one's very normal. Next up, at UFC Vegas 79, we have Dan Argueta taking on Miles Johns. This is going to be a very interesting fight. Dan Argueta, 9-1 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5. He is coming off that no contest over Ronnie Lawrence, where the ref pretty much ruined it for everybody. He's taking on Miles Johns.
Say his name.
Miles Johns.
No, the ref. Are you afraid to say his name?
Oh, which one was it?
It's Keith Peterson, baby. That's the one where he literally grabbed his arm and forced him to fucking tap. He's like, "You're gonna tap now, bitch."
That's right.
And Dominic Cruz. Why is Dominic Cruz always on the call when weird stuff happens? Because it was Keith Peterson too, and Dominic Cruz like, not surprised, not surprised.
Dominic Cruz went way too hard on what's his name this past weekend, because the dude's arm was limp. Like, it was not an unreasonable call for that ref to call it. It was not unreasonable. Right. Knowing that dude gets finished in every single one of his losses, knowing the situation he was just in, watching his arm go limp.
I don't know. Obviously, I don't know anything about the actual thing that he was in. But the fact that Cruz and DC were both like, no, he was fine in that position. I definitely trust them. And the other thing was the knees that came out today. And I actually knew this after the fight. The knees that Grasso was landing on Shevchenko, everyone's like, they were legal. You have to, in Vegas, it's one hand, but it has to be a weight-bearing hand. And she was not bearing her weight on that hand, so they're absolutely legal.
But I'm going to redo this fight, because let's talk about this very quickly.
Okay.
Because Ariel Helwani he's a pain in the ass. But Ariel Helwani did an interview with the Nevada State Athletic Commission guy, and Ariel was like, he didn't air the interview, but he's like, I just talked to him, just broke it down. He said they were illegal strikes.
No, they were legal.
He said illegal. Ariel said
they were legal. It's weight bearing. It has to be in Vegas. It has to be a weight bearing hand.
Take it up with Ariel.
Well, he tweeted that it was legal because Alexis Davis, the manager of all those Brazilians, tweeted something about Nevada is different than whatever, and Ariel's like, yeah, it has to be weight bearing.
Okay, if you go to his Twitter, watch the video on his Twitter while I do the
my Twitter is locked.
Fight. Still.
It did get locked.
No, you're unlocked after taking a public safety course. Watch the video he just put, and I'm going to do this. Next up, at UFC Vegas 79, we have Dan Argueta taking on Miles Johns. Dan Argueta, 9-1 overall. 3-1-1 in his last 5. He's coming off the no contest over Ronnie Lawrence, where Keith Peterson ruined that fight for everybody, but Dan Argueta was dominating at least the portion that we saw. Taking on Miles Johns, 13-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the decision win over Vince Morales. Miles Johns, like so many others before him, is a very good wrestler with strong takedowns, wrestling ability, all those things. He's got heavy hands, and he's explosive. And then he found a couple of knockouts, and now that's all he wants to do is sit on that big power. He waits, he throws the big power. He abandoned his wrestling entirely for a while, but he is coming off that win over Vince Morales, where he was low volume. He was winging punches. He was trying to sit on some power, but he actually tried to work in some takedowns in those attempts helped him out quite a bit. Taking on Dan Argueta. This guy's a short, stocky wrestler. He's going to come across the cage, wrap you up, muscle you to the ground. He's got really nice pressure. He leaves almost no space for his opponents to work up. He has one single game plan, that is get you to the ground, pound away. He's coming off that no contest to Ronnie Lawrence, where he was going to dominate that fight. He was dominating that fight, and he was the underdog going into it. I love Argueta in this spot, and it's because I trust him to wrestle. Miles lost that, I'm definitely going to wrestle a while ago. Dan Argueta has not. And then you're going to say, well, but Miles Johns has a 92% takedown defense. It is a little bit inflated, though. If you dig into it, the only other time he fought like an actual wrestler, somebody whose first choice could have been to take him down, was Sexy Mexi. But we know that he also doesn't wrestle. So Miles John has never really fought somebody like a Dan Argueta that is going to come out, wrestle first, try to make it happen. He hasn't fought someone with that game plan. I don't think he's going to be as prepared as he thinks he's going to be for that game plan. So I like Dan Argueta to get this done. I'm pretty confident in him to do that. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I think you probably need to read the chat real quick.
Everybody's saying...
Ariel's saying that he did say it was legal because there you go. So
I thought he literally said 2 were illegal, but I'll have to watch again, I guess.
Yikes. Yeah, so back to this fight. I am on the Dan Argueta side, but I'll be perfectly honest. Going into that Ronnie Lawrence fight, I was very high on Ronnie Lawrence because I said there is no way that he can out-wrestle a guy like Ronnie Lawrence. That's exactly what he did, because I was like, the whole time, I was just like, he's safe, because he was threatening submission, but kept position, submission, kept position, and I was just like, Ronnie, he's safe, he's going to be fine. And I was very upset when that fight got called. Obviously got twitched after that, but it was not a good situation for me. But Miles Johns is a guy that, in my mind, doesn't know what he wants to be at this point in his career. Because, as you mentioned, he's a good wrestler. Started knocking people out, so then he just started trying to knock everyone out and ran into, as you already alluded to, an absolute buzzsaw in Sexy Mexi. That was my lock of the week this week. And the reason why he was my lock of the week is because I knew that Sexy Mexi could weather whatever heavy hands Miles Johns was going to throw, and then he was going to be able to wear him down with the constant either grappling or just with the constant striking. That's exactly what happened in that fight. You saw Miles Johns just start fading, try to get even, and when he starts fading, all his go-to at that point in his career was just throw even heavier and throw even more wild. He wouldn't even try to go to his back pocket wrestling. Now, after that fight, he comes in at events, and it seemed like he was like, okay, I got to wrestle. I realize I can't knock everyone out. I got to go to my wrestling. The issue was, it didn't work. It did not work in that fight. So now he knows he can't knock everyone out. He knows he can't really go back to his wrestling, and he's up against another guy who can just completely outwork somebody. Dan Argueta, even in that short notice fight, up in weight against Damon Jackson, I think me and you were both. You picked him in that fight, I'm pretty sure. And me and you were very impressed with the output that he gave and the effort that he gave in that fight. He is nonstop. He's Cub Swanson's boy. He is just going to get in Miles Johns' face. The only thing that does worry me is his entries are a little bit telegraphed, right? You know what he wants to do. He doesn't really set them up. He's pretty good at his entries. He level changes nicely. There's good speed behind it. But sometimes when somebody knows what you're going to do and they're as powerful as Miles Johns, things can go wrong. So there is a part of me, it's like, I just wish that he set up his shots a little bit better. But once he gets on the hips, he's going to stay there, and he's going to wear down Miles Johns. And, I mean, he could find a second, third round finish in my mind, but we'll see how it plays out.
Sorry.
You're a little flustered now, huh?
No, I was watching the aerial video, trying to hear it.
And how'd that go?
I got halfway through it, and then you stopped talking. So
I bet, yeah. I can keep talking. You can go and keep listening, or if you want. So.
I'll hit play next. I'll hit play in the next breakdown. So, I mean, this could be. Every card has that one person that we really expected to win and we're super confident in, and then just showed up. Everybody's got the Rolando Bedoya, right? There's a Rolando Bedoya on all of these cards.
Well, I went perfect last week. So.
Dan Argueta could be this card's Rolando Bedoya. I do think he's going to win, but all of a sudden, if he's not getting those takedowns and Miles Johns' takedown defense is better than I made it out to be, all of a sudden Dan Argueta could have some trouble because Miles Johns does hit like a freight train. And Dan Argueta, as good as I think he is, he still has, less experience, lost to some lesser guys or lost to one lesser guy. Yes, short notice, things like that. But I still think Dan's going to get it done, but this is
He used to be your boy, man. He was your boy.
I'm all over him. I mean, I've got a parlay with him in it. I think he absolutely wins.
Well, you've been a little, I don't know, because you were, even in that Damon Jackson, I think even afterwards you were like, he beat him. He won that fight.
He had some nice scrambles. But, I mean, the Damon Jackson fight was short notice, and that is what it is. But we now know who Damon Jackson is. So, meaning he's lost a couple. So, the competition is a little suspect. But I do think Dan Argueta is going to get this done. And as I mentioned, I do have a little parlay with him in it. If you want to see that and so much more, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member, and you can unlock all of the picks, the bets, the round line leans, the what's that tool? The optimizer, the detailed data, the metrics, and everything else. DraftKings 8,600 to 7,600. It's a little tricky. I don't think you play the 7,600 on the Miles John side because outside of big power, he's just going to be sitting there waiting. So then it's, does Dan Argueta get enough takedowns to score well and to put that on the board? And I think so. Are you trying to look like him? You'll never look. Look at that hair. Look at that jaw.
I know, but do you think my cheekbones really pop when I do it?
That's just his cheekbones, dude.
You're supposed to look at mine.
No.
Is that a better look than just normal? Like,
I don't think there's many looks that could really make that.
Wait until they find out that I'm 35% Latino.
And all of a sudden,
all over me. I'm gonna grow out the hair. I'm gonna get a perm. Get that thing curly.
Dan Argueta, isn't he Latino? Argueta?
I don't know. I don't see color.
You will if that 23andMe comes back with some color in it.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna be
It's gonna change I'm telling you, it's gonna change my life, man. It is gonna change my life.
It would be wild if you had a little culture in you.
You know the weird part about it?
You're not only eating chicken nuggets at McDonald's. Now all of a sudden you're eating like real food.
Well, you know what's funny is there's a guy in the Discord, he might be in here right now, that always makes fun of, because I posted a picture of when I made lemon pepper wings one time. And he always just like brings it up like just randomly, and it's always at the most random times. I was talking about the 23andMe today, and I was like, I bet I'm 50% white, or 25% black, and 25% Latino. And he was like, he said you can't be 25% black when he only seasoned 5% of your wings. it was pretty funny. So, but people can be surprised for sure.
I think we will be horrified.
Oh, but the thing I was going to mention is on the 23andMe, one of the weird things that they have you can either opt in or opt out is like relatives that they find out about you, and then your name will be posted. Like if other people that have signed up for 23andMe, like you might find a weird connection, whatever. And it says in parentheses because you either say you want to do it or you won't. And the thing that made me say I don't want to do it was, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's something like some fucking, I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but sometimes finding out about relationships you didn't know you had can change your life or like affect your life or something like that is the way they wrote it.
Yeah, you're gonna find out you had a kid because there
was something like just some weird relationship, and I was like, no, I don't want to find out. So I literally clicked no. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't talk to the people I already have in my life. I'm not trying to add new people.
That's very true.
All right. Next up at UFC Vegas 79, we have Ricardo Ramos taking on Charles Jourdain. Ricardo Ramos is 16-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming back to the cage after a year away, and he's taking on Charles Jourdain, 14-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. Coming off that domination of the very pathetic Kron Gracie. Charles Jourdain, this guy's a fun come-forward striker. He does have a very good chin. He's very fast. He's got good timing. He's willing to take chances with his spinning attacks, his flying attacks. Not the most technical guy in the world, but he's an absolute dog. He's going to keep fights ugly. He's going to stay in your face. I mentioned he's coming off that win over Kron Gracie. I mean, Kron Gracie spent that whole week pretending to be a Diaz. I'm a badass. I'm not going to and then just was butt scooting, pulling guard. What a pathetic loser. What's up?
Rumor is, and I don't know if this is 100% true, that Mike Bell had that for Kron 29-28.
Okay. Anyway, Charles Jourdain. I just broke down. Ricardo Ramos, very dangerous guy. He's really good everywhere. He's long and rangy with slick BJJ. He's got high kicks, spinning attacks, or great jabs, solid leg kicks. If it hits the ground, he's always going to be hunting for a submission, and he's really fast in those transitions. He's been out for about a year, and he's coming off that wild knockout over Danny Chavez. This could be a fight of the night type situation. This should be really fun, back and forth fight. Both these guys are tough. Ricardo's probably the more dangerous of the two, but Charles Jourdain can make any fight ugly. Jacob has mentioned this before about Charles Jourdain and others, where anytime you talk about how how tough somebody is, it's basically saying they're not very skilled, they're just tough. And that really is a Charles Jourdain situation where he's exciting, he's fun, he's going to do a lot of things. But when it comes to just straight up clean, solid technique, he makes up for it with just like grit and toughness and stay in your face. So Charles Jourdain is going to be the animal. He's going to be the fan favorite. But I do think the precision of a Ricardo Ramos, I think the danger on the ground is probably going to be the difference here. So very, very, very slight, tiny little slight lean towards Ricardo Ramos, but Charles Jourdain
Ricky
could just make this ugly and sneak it out.
What's
what do you
that
think,
from?
Jakey boy? I don't know.
What? With Ricky Ricardo?
Man, I'm 40, not 80.
Lucy. Come on. I said the name. I Love Lucy. You know,
I know what it is. I knew what it was once.
That's why I was asking, what is it? And you're sitting there just dumbfounded.
But that's why I said I'm 40, not 60. I mean, I Love Lucy was on in 1950.
And also, it's whatever. Ricky, fucking, what's a fucking? I can't. I'm just fucking just blanking.
No,
Ricky. Fucking.
What is that?
Fucking. That's with Cuba Gooding. Fucking. What's that movie?
Radio?
Boys in the Hood. Yeah, decent. Boys in the Hood. Yeah.
Oh, radio. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, I'll be honest. When I first saw this matchup, because full transparency, I did have my thing, not against Charles Jourdain in the past, but one of my favorite lock of the weeks of all time was Marcelo Rojo, and I picked him against Charles Jourdain for the reason Angel mentioned. Charles Jourdain is a super tough dude, super durable guy, super fun, seems like the greatest guy in the world, but isn't like the most technical guy, and I thought that Marcelo Rojo could come in and kind of outdog him in that fight. One of the biggest, and that's not what happened, so that's just a little backstory to me and Charles Jourdain. The reason I say that was because I saw this matchup, and I know how dangerous Ricardo is, and I'm like, oh shit, here's my lock of the week. I've gotten to this point. I haven't figured it out yet. Here is my lock of the week, is what I told myself. Now, let me start watching film and convince myself that this is my lock of the week. This is my initial lock of the week. So I start watching film, and the first thing I watch is let me watch him against Bill Algeo, because Bill Algeo is also one of those guys that's super durable, super tough. He had 8 takedowns in that fight versus Bill Algeo. And Charles Jourdain, one of his biggest downfalls is probably in his takedown defense. You can take him down. So I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Okay, everything is looking for good for lock of the week. He can get the takedowns. He's dangerous. Charles, blah, blah, blah. I start watching that fight. 4 takedowns in the first round. Basically 0 control. And those takedowns weren't wrestling takedowns. They were like body lock, muscle, a little bit of trip. He had some inside trips, so a lot of physicality. And you saw in the second and third rounds that really wore him down. He is a guy that is fun, exciting, dangerous in the first round, but if it gets out of the first round, he really slows down, especially if he's grappling, which I think he's going to do in this fight. And Charles Jourdain, to his credit, is a good grappler. He knows how to stay safe. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I think that Ricardo Ramos is going to come in, look like he's having success, doing the wild spinning stuff. Charles Jourdain would kind of take his time, see what's going on, and then Charles Jourdain is just going to lay on the Charles Jourdain pace and pressure in the second round, in the third round, and maybe even find a finish in the third round when he starts hitting that rhythm, because there is hardly anybody more dangerous than Charles Jourdain at 145 when he gets in that flow state where he is just nonstop in your face. Nothing is going to stop this guy, and I see Ricardo kind of slowing down and maybe getting finished late. So I went all the way from let me find out why I'm going to make him lock of the week to picking against him. I like the durability of Charles in this fight. I think it serves him well, and He's going to lay that pressure on late. And
okay. Like, why didn't you end it like a person? You just like stop.
I thought it'd be. I started to like figure out what I was saying, and I was like, it'll probably be funny if I just stopped talking.
But I'm not going to disagree with anything you're saying.
He's dangerous.
I picked Ricardo Ramos, but I did like, very tiny 49-51 type lean for that reason. Charles Jourdain is an absolute dog. I think Ricardo's the better, more technical, skilled fighter. And if he fights a skilled fight, he wins this fight. If he gets sucked into a dog fight, which is what Charles Jourdain does to people, then, he's going to lose a dog fight. So, I leaned that direction with it. But Charles did just spend a whole camp preparing for a world-class grappler. And he looked, retained, I'm sure. Well, let's not say Charles looked good. Crone looked terrible.
Well, Charles did look good in the striking. Obviously, he was just kind of hitting a heavy bag out there. But one thing I will mention is Crone did engage in some of those body lock positions that Ricardo likes, and you could tell Charles was very ready for those. He kept his balance nice. He stayed nice and tight, knew that a guard pull might be coming as well, and was able to get out of those situations. So this is almost the same type of guy, but a little bit better than Crone.
Yeah, but he's got good striking, though.
He's got really good striking. Yeah. And he's got like 4 or 5 spinning back elbow knockouts or something crazy. Yeah. Very dynamic. No, I'm just saying as far as like in the like that type of takedown, kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I got you. So anyway, we are split on this, but I don't think it's actually you think Charles is going to win by finish.
I think he has the opportunity. I don't necessarily say that. I think he's got the opportunity to wear this guy down.
Well, $7,900 in DraftKings. I don't know if I'm going to spend that. That is underdog price, but it's not that low, right? I would prefer 75, 76, 73,
maybe
something like that.
69.
But at the $7,900, we're almost talking even money, and I don't think it's necessarily worth it because Charles is dangerous, and there's a couple other. You get Tim Means at a better price than this, and Tim Means can put up some very, very real numbers. But if you want to unlock the full DraftKings analysis, the detailed data, metrics, and analytics, and everything else, WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. Click Become a Member at the top.
I can't believe that you don't use my – because I thought of that, and I thought it was perfect. Like, you guys are going to throw $10 in some bullshit parlay this weekend.
Let's hear you do that, yeah.
Yeah, so – here we go, guys. Listen the fuck up. First of all, like the stream if you haven't liked the stream. Subscribe if you are new. And consider becoming a premium member today. WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. I'm telling you guys right now. Right now, I guarantee 95% of everyone listening to this right now has a $10 parlay. 5, 6, 7, 12 leg parlay. Whatever it is to win thousands and thousands of dollars. You could play that. It could hit. Back-to-back weeks, I've hit 100 to win $5,000, literally in back-to-back weeks. Not premium plays. I'm not going to claim the premium plays, but I have hit those. I understand they do hit from time to time. But what you could do is you could get the tools necessary to learn. I'm speaking to America. Excuse me. That's a great video. Did I send you that ref video when a player was trying to interrupt them and he was like, "Excuse me, I'm speaking to America," because he was on the mic. Anyway, you guys are going to spend that on some random parlay that's not going to hit, or use that $10 to get a full month's. That's 4 cards worth of my plays, Anzo's plays. We got other people involved. We have DraftKings out there. We have line movement tracker. I mean, it's crazy the value that you get and the tools to learn. So then, if you use those tools, then you can place your $10 parlay. Then you have a better chance of hitting it. And, that's the best I can do, Angel. I hope you appreciate that. So.
I do. Thank you for taking over some of the sales pitch duties, because that's usually me.
It's $10 freaking dollars.
They're cheap bastards. They're all cheap bastards. No, yeah,
it's freaking $10. Listen, guys, I just got done drinking a jar of marinara, but it's like freaking $10 a month. We're talking here, you cheap bastard, you fucking cockroaches.
You're way out of pocket. Way out of pocket. Can we get back to the super chat? Alan sent $5. He said, Jacob's 23 results equals 100% salamander. And he also thinks Valentina was robbed. I'm with him. I think Valentina won that fight.
Well,
Close fight.
Fourth round. I mean, Grasso landed the knees.
Go.
She got the most significant thing in the round was her picking Valentina up overhead, slamming her down. And then even at the end of the round, she had that heel hook basically locked in. I mean, that thing was made so she had a submission attempt. She had a slam takedown. She had those knees. All that happened was one punch cut Grasso's cheek. She started bleeding, and the refs were like, just like, oh my God, she's bleeding. They bleed once a month all the time. It's no big deal. They're used to be fucking Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Cut that. This isn't live, right? We'll edit that in post.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Just like when we edited out that you made fun of Long Neck last week, and then he found that on YouTube anyway.
How about that Kyle Nelson play by me, huh? I got a lot of credit for that one. I saved a lot of people with that.
That was a bad decision, but it's not your problem.
I don't know if it was a bad decision. The 30-27 was absolutely wild. When I heard 30-27, I was like, oh, Fernando won. And then it was like 4 for Kyle Nelson, but it was a close fight.
Same with the Tracy Cortez. 30-27 for Tracy Cortez.
Well, she definitely won that fight, so it's not that big a deal.
But Jasmine took that second round, no problem. You could have given her the third if she didn't get that takedown like an idiot.
Jasmine is a tough fucking girl, man. I like Jasmine. Even after that fight, I like Jasmine, yeah.
$5 super chat from Jeffrey Pleites. A Mexican robbed on Independence Day. Everything is in perfect balance. Let's go, Alexa, a.k.a. Mrs. Salamander. It is weird you don't simp for her like you do some of the others.
I'm starting to come around to the Spanish. I'll be honest. I was caught up in the Brazilian, the Portuguese, but I'll be honest with you. Because the best thing about, honestly, the best thing that happened to me with the Mexican Independence Day was because I was looking for good videos to put on Twitter for like if she won and stuff. So I was searching for Mexican Independence Day videos on TikTok to try and find one.
So now your feed is just
now it's like a bunch of Latinas and stuff. So it's like, okay, I started to come around. Hey, Alexa, how you doing? Loopy. Hey, Loopy was looking fantastic. I'm so proud of her. I do feel like a fucking proud uncle, proud fucking father or something to Loopy. Me and her have been through a lot. She didn't even realize it.
Yeah, she will when you get served those papers.
Holy shit.
Next up at UFC Vegas 79, we have Brian Battle taking on AJ Fletcher. I'm telling you right now, Jakey Boy and I are we couldn't be farther apart on this fight. We got Brian Battle, 8-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that quick knockout win over Gabe Green. What are we laughing at?
Somebody says, you're going to like Daniel for this one, though. Somebody said something about, can you sign up can we subscribe premium here in the Philippines? And Daniel said, you can subscribe anywhere. It's the internet.
He's not wrong. Thank you, Daniel. You are unbanned. Taking on AJ Fletcher. AJ Fletcher, 10-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the decision win over Temba Garimbo. Temba's the guy The Rock bought an apartment for. Brian Battle is a dog. And I'm going to repeat that over and over again because that is the core of this breakdown. This kid's an absolute dog. Kid. I said kid. He's not my buddy, Jacob. He's a kid. He's constantly pressuring, constantly working towards something. He's shown us that he's got a solid ground game. He's never out of a fight. He averages almost 1 takedown per fight. Low 20% takedown accuracy. That's not great. But he is improving at an incredible pace. Literally every single fight he goes out there, he physically looks better. His skills are much better. All of a sudden, he has power. He's a former fat kid.
How do you know his skills have looked better in 14 seconds, Angelo?
Even in the loss, let me finish. Because even in the loss to Renat Fakhretdinov, he looked phenomenal. And I'll get to it. Just hold your horses. And I'm happy to bet you straight up, you absolute muppet.
I'll get it going. That's no problem. I'll go get it.
So Brian Battle is a dog. Improving very, very dramatically. Rapid pace. The guy's a former fat kid that changed his life and just has that work ethic, has that dedication, and is just continuing to improve at an incredible pace. He's taking on AJ Fletcher. AJ Fletcher, I have compared him, the older people here, the old school UFC fans. If you remember Sean Shirk, the muscle shark, I've compared AJ Fletcher to him. Very similar style. He's a wrestler. He's got decent striking. When you watch the film, you see him dropping people with his punches, pouncing. But he's a very, very good wrestler. He's going to use those big strikes and just immediately start shooting takedowns. He's nuts fast. He does have some power. Once he hits the ground, he's going to start pounding away. If you move at all, the guy, he's like a cat. Boom, right on top of you. Right there, right there, right there. You have no room. He's just so fast. I have picked him to win in pretty much all of his UFC fights, but I'm on the other side here. He's coming off that win over Temba Garimbo. He looked hesitant. He struggled with the reach because AJ is just a slight young man. And the red flag is just he started pulling guillotines. And like, yeah, I get it. He looked decent in that fight and he won that fight. But he's fighting Bryan Battle, who has power in his hands. He is long, and Bryan Battle will not slow down for a half a second. Renat Fakhretdinov took that dude down at least 60 times. And yeah, he racked up a ton of control time, but Bryan Battle, not for 1 second did that dude just accept bottom and just exist. Oh, he took me down. There was 30 seconds left in the fight, and he's still working back up to his feet. So for those reasons, the reach, the power in his hands, and he's never going to stop, I'm picking Bryan Battle, and I'm pretty confident in him. I think AJ will have some early takedown success, and I think it just doesn't matter after the first 5 minutes or so because Bryan Battle is going to be fresh as hell. Fresh and clean. Jakey, what do you think?
Yeah, we are on opposite sides on this, and I put that bet in the chat. I put $100 on it, so you have to play. Don't forget this part because you have the favor here. You have to play 156. The odds are 156, so you have to play 156 to try to win 100 there. And
I'm taking it right now. Oh, somebody already took it.
It's a
How is
donation.
that possible?
Well, somebody's ready.
Somebody already took it.
Well, we have people in the chat that
You only chatted it to me. You didn't chat it to everybody.
I thought it goes live. Remember, it just goes live to the people. It's
public.
Yeah,
it goes. Yeah.
Fucking stupid bitch. But anyway, we are opposite on this, and it comes down to this. Let's talk about AJ real quickly because AJ is an explosive wrestler and starting to really figure out the jiu-jitsu part of the wrestling because before he was just kind of a wrestler. Now he's working in the control, the sweeps, the submission attempts. So he's not going to have the grappling advantage, but he definitely has offensive wrestling. He can get a takedowns versus anyone. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to get a takedown immediately in this fight whenever he wants because we've seen Bryan Battle is good off his back, dangerous off his back, especially with his length against a guy like AJ Fletcher, but he can get taken down. Now, back to AJ Fletcher. He starts losing fights. So he lost to Semi the Jedi, but that first round, he's completely controlling that first round. He's getting the takedown.
I thought he won that fight.
He's getting a full mount. It was like a weird fight, but he's getting a full mount. His ability to get the full mount is very, very. And Semi the Jedi is an experienced grappler, experienced guy, and he was able to slide to full mount, and he's starting to figure out the position a little bit more in full mount. But then he starts fading in that fight once he is starting to get offensive wrestle, right? Semi the Jedi was able to get on top of him when he's on his back. That's when he'll start fading in fights. Against Ange Losa, he comes in. He looks really good with the hands the first 2 or 3 minutes of that fight, then really starts getting touched up. I mean, Ange is really laying on some really solid shots. I bring that up because AJ fucking didn't even flinch at him. I mean, it didn't even matter at all that he was getting hit. Just eating the shots because Bryan Battle is a guy that normally is not a powerful guy, right? He comes through, he has the head kick. It is what it is. Against Gabe Green, yeah, he found that 14-second knockout, but that was Gabe Green. I mean,
Gabe
hands
rushed
low.
in like a
Yeah,
maniac.
I mean, just anyone is going to get knocked out in that type of situation. So good for him for capitalizing on that situation. But to think that he has all of a sudden has found this like crazy one-punch power, this guy was not a power puncher guy. Even against Trayshawn Gore, the last time we saw him in an actual striking match, like a back-and-forth striking match, was against Trayshawn Gore. That wasn't that long ago. That was last year. And yeah, he's continued to improve, but in that fight, there was moments where he was just like, I mean, he was throwing the volume, but Trayshawn Gore in that fight, if he just throws a little bit more volume, probably wins that fight, was landing some nice power. AJ Fletcher is a guy that does have sneaky power. He dropped on Ange Losa. He should have finished that fight. The reason he got so tired in that fight was because he went all in to try to get the finish. I'm not going to discredit the guy for getting tired, because he's trying to get fit. I'll never trash fighters for getting tired, for trying to. That's what you're supposed to do. You're trying to finish the fucking fight. So, long story short here, I'm going with AJ Fletcher because I know what I'm going to get. I know that he's going to get a takedown. I know that he can take a shot. I know that he can land power. And yeah, he has faded in fights, but I don't see a situation where Bryan Battle's on top of this guy wearing him down. I think AJ Fletcher can be there. Another reason why I'm picking AJ Fletcher is because I still don't know what I'm getting with Bryan Battle. I don't know. He had the head kick, a quick head kick knockout. You don't really know if he improved in the striking, whatever it was. He gets mauled, showed off his toughness. His ability to fight off his back. But
not just toughness.
Right.
There's
he was able to work the hips, being dangerous off his back as well. But even in that third round, he got dropped. Renat's not a guy that drops me. He got dropped by Renat, so he can get chin. Just in 2 fights ago, he was getting chin. AJ Fletcher can chin people. He comes against Gabe Green. Early knockout, you still just do not know. So these people coming in thinking, oh, he's just going to smoke this guy. He's not a knockout guy. He isn't. He just isn't, and it might. This could backfire. I mean, honestly. But I hope AJ eats a shot. Bryan Battle is not normally a knockout guy. I'm actually in the AJ Fletcher side. I'm more worried about Bryan Battle's jiu-jitsu. I'm worried about AJ taking him down and Bryan Battle sweeping him or working something off his back. That's what I'm worried about when I'm picking AJ Fletcher. But I think AJ Fletcher comes through, can weather whatever kind of weird early storm Bryan Battle's going to give, thinking he's a knockout guy, get a takedown, get control, and he's dangerous on top. So I'm going AJ Fletcher here, and I've already heard it all week. I think somebody said that I'm the only person on YouTube picking AJ Fletcher, so if it pays off, you know who Papa is. So I'm picking AJ. I put money on him too.
Are you the only person? I feel like other people are picking him.
Somebody said I watch a whole bunch of shit, and you were the only one. So it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a big AJ Fletcher guy, so when I hear your long-ass rant, I'm like, uh-oh. But the reality is, my pick isn't against AJ Fletcher other than he struggled with the reach in his last fight. Bryan Battle never stops. This dude never stops, and he's long as hell. So that's why I'm on the Battle side. We'll see what happens.
Tresean Gore, he was just back against the fence the entire. That's the last striking match we've seen him in. He was back against the fence the entire time.
So fast.
But where has he shown that? Where have you seen him moving forward with the striking, constantly moving forward?
The 2 knockouts.
He was back against the fence against Gabe Green as well. He got immediately pushed back to the fence and just landed a nice shot.
Oh, okay. So it matters if you knock out walking forward.
Well, you're the one that's saying that he's making all these improvements and he's constantly moving forward. He had 40 seconds to move forward. I didn't say he was constantly
moving forward. When did I say he was moving forward?
You didn't. You didn't.
A sassy older black woman?
You didn't.
What? No, when did I say that?
You just
when
did.
When did I say that?
You just did.
I said he
That's
never
why I
stops
started this
working.
ramp.
I said he never stops working. I didn't say he's constantly
He never stops working. He had a 40-second fight and a 14-second fight. Where have you seen that?
The Renat fight. Throw that $100 bet back up.
I already placed it. I got plenty of funds.
You sound.
Why don't you make it?
Somebody so confident.
You make it and send it to me.
I will after the stream.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Get that. Make sure you get your wife's debit card, honey.
Anyway,
I need to make another deposit.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Are you moving to honey?
The DraftKings. This will be a pick your side because, frankly, if AJ wins, it probably will be a lot of rest. Now, you had your fucking turn.
No, I'm gonna say one more. You're gonna like this one though, and this is 100% true.
Go ahead.
One of the reasons why I'm not like all in on AJ is his dumb little face, man. He's got one of those, I say it all the time about a very hittable, a very knockout friendly face, and he's got one of those faces where he just looks like he's gonna get knocked out. I've said it before, so that is like I hate his dumb little face. I love you, AJ, but there's something about it, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, this will be interesting when this video gets tweeted out.
I picked him. I picked him to win. I said he could win. It's just, I know. And
nobody's gonna. The best part is nobody's gonna complain when we put Miranda Maverick's gonna lose every white night.
Every simp, yeah.
Oh, how could you talk to her? Like, how could you tweet?
This fight week, you shouldn't tag fighters during fight week. They've got too much on their mind.
And then you said he has a dumb face. Last night you said the dude had a llama neck.
I said he's got a dumb face.
I mean, you're actually the liability here. You're the liability, not me.
Fernando, that wasn't my comment. I was just the messenger. You can't shoot the messenger. And but this one is
literally
mine. I'll own this one.
Literally,
I like AJ, man. I'm picking him in this fight. I think he can fucking dominate this fight. Honestly, I think what's the over under? I think it's in trouble.
I don't know. By the time I pull it up, it's a 2.5 round line, I think. No, it's a 1.5, isn't it?
I think it's in trouble. I think...
I don't know. I have to look at it. Anyway.
I think you do know.
Do I? I do. Okay. I do know. Yeah. I'll have to look. Dude, I did so many bets today. I've forgotten them all. And we're 2 hours into the stream. We have 3 fights left. Let's continue to move forward. Are you going to have $7,500 AJ Fletcher in your DraftKings lineup?
I think there's a good chance.
Well, I'll have to actually look at Brian Battle a little closer because for him to be worth the $8,700, he's got to win by finish or get, really put up some striking volume or his offensive takedowns. I don't know about. I do think he's going to win this fight. I think he'll outwork. I think AJ is going to be much slower, giving up some rounds later. I don't know how well that's going to score, so I'll look closer. If you want to see the full DraftKings breakdown and analysis, weonpicks.com. It's only $10 a month, as Jacob said earlier. Don't be a cheap bastard. The amount of stuff you get for that $10 is absolutely insane. You're going to get a DraftKings optimizer, detailed data, metrics, and analytics. You're going to get picks from 3, 4, 5, 6 different people, one of them being an AI. You're going to get all the bets, all the insight, everything for only $10 a month. WeOnPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Next up at UFC Vegas 79, we have Marina Rodriguez taking on Michelle the Karate Hottie Waterson. Marina Rodriguez is 16-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that decision loss to Verna Jandiroba. She's taking on Michelle Waterson, 18-11 overall, 1-4. 1-4 in her last 5. She is on a 3-fight skid. This is a rematch. I didn't say this was a rematch in my Quick Picks video. My opinion on rematches like this, we're talking about 3 years ago. It doesn't matter.
That's recent enough.
Yeah, I don't think 3 years ago.
I think it's recent enough. It's like 2 fights ago from both of them, 2 or 3 fights.
It just, I don't know. And Michelle Waterson's a completely different person. And frankly, I picked Marina anyway.
And Frank.
So, Jesus. I picked Marina. That's the second reference today, which is bizarre, honestly. Anyway, I'm going to pick, spoiler, I picked Marina Rodriguez. So that's why going back to the rematch doesn't matter that much. And again, to me, it's like a year and a half, 2 years max, 3 years. All right, people change. Anyway, Marina Rodriguez, very good boxer, good striker, solid speed, good power. She does have raw one-punch knockout power, especially at this weight class. Takedown defense historically was pretty good, but it's been getting exposed. Overall, Marina's a pretty complete fighter. She can grind out a win. She can get a finish, but she is coming off that loss to Verna Jandiroba, where she was just taken down in control. She had no answer for the takedowns and then couldn't get up. 12 minutes of control off 3 takedowns means every time she was taken down, she just had nowhere to go and nothing to do. Taking on Michelle Waterson. Karate Hottie. She has a karate background. She's been a professional fighter for 15 years. She's got a ton of cage time with some of the best women that have ever fought. She's fought multiple champions, Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Style-wise, she is a striker. She's going to use her kicks to really manage that distance. She'll pop in and out. She almost uses her kicks like a jab at times. She does have some wrestling. She's got a little bit of wrestling in that back pocket. She actually has 22 takedowns in her last 15 fights, and despite it only being at a 33% accuracy, she can time her shots really well. She is coming off that 3rd loss in a row. Most recently was a really, really close decision to Luana Pinera, where her kicks actually looked incredible. So I am going to pick Marina here. But if I knew that Michelle Waterson was going to wrestle, like if I knew that was going to be her game plan, I would pick her because Michelle was a little bit exposed in that last fight. But I can't bank on that being Michelle Waterson's game plan. Marina should probably be the better striker, even though Michelle Waterson's kicks looked phenomenal. But if we zoom out and we look at this a little closer, neither one of these women are getting like finished. Neither one of them, other than Marina's like thwomping from Verna, they're competitive in their losses. Obviously, Michelle got, guillotined by Amanda Lemos, but she looked good in that first round up until getting caught in that second. So they're both tough, they're both skilled, and they're both old. Everybody's going to talk about Michelle Waterson. 37. Marina Rodriguez is 36. These are older women.
Yeah, relax with the older women. What the fuck? These are older women. Like they're fucking meemaws.
When we're talking about fights, these are older women.
Distinguished.
I do think their careers are just sort of going different ways. I think Michelle Waterson is just sort of like, all right, let me ride out my contract. Where Marina, I think, is like getting in there like, I am going to work my way back up and try to make something. Why are you making that stupid fucking face? You disagree?
No, I'm making this stupid face because I agree. Fucking idiot.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear your breakdown. This is why I hit different.
Because you said, allegedly. I say that, and the reason I made that face is because Karate Hottie came in as my lock of the week. I'm a little bit biased. No shit. Against Luana Pinheiro, and she fucking won that fight. I mean, she took it to a young prospect and won that fight. It's gonna say loss on when you look at it on the record, but I think she absolutely won that fight. I mean, I thought she looked great in that fight. That's a young, aggressive striker with judo. She got a takedown as well. As far as the takedowns go, I agree. I mean, her path to victory in this fight is going to be the wrestling. She's got to do something different from the first fight, right? The first fight, she tried to strike with her and couldn't keep up in the striking. I think she's going to look better in the striking. I think she's a little bit different person. Looks better physically. She's just fucking beautiful. I mean, she is one of those people that's just fucking like effortlessly, like a Halle Berry, like effortlessly beautiful, especially with that short hair too. I mean, she is something else. Personality to boot. Looks like a great mother as well. I think that if I had kids, I would love if she was my kid's mother. Yeah, I don't think she's got the wrestling that Verna's going to have. I mean, Verna is like a wrestler, like shooting actual takedowns, can chain wrestle, where Michelle will shoot one, but she doesn't really commit to them, and I think Marina is going to be fine in those type of takedowns. So Marina is a better striker. She already proved that once. I think it might be a little more competitive than people think, because I think Michelle is very tough. I don't think she'll get finished. If you're going to play Marina, I think you play her by points. There's not much better value there, but it's a little bit better value because Michelle is tough, but I think she just kind of gets outpointed and outpowered and lose a decision. So I'm going Marina here, but Karate Hottie, I love you. And you were my lock of the week, and you definitely didn't let me down. You didn't let me down, and I would never let you down. I promise you that. No.
I think you would.
Michelle Waterson lines sounds. Is that a Gomez?
Gomez. I don't even put it on the graphics. Not worth it. $2 super chat from Angel.
I was like, this isn't fucking fitting on that shit.
It literally doesn't fit. You just added a whole nother word to your last name. Forget it. If you
we don't put fucking Ian Gary Machado. Fucking
exactly.
Loser.
That's a very good. He took his wife's.
He got my fucking. He got my fucking account or my Twitter account. The video that I posted of Ian Gary, where I was like, he's living my Brazilian dream with the music, got my fucking account locked. Fuck that dude. He probably went searched his name,
reported all his videos. Anyway, we had the $2 super chat from Angel Velasquez. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
It's probably Angel.
Thank
you very much.
Ooh, like Dexter. We like Angel. Angel was one of the best characters of all time.
Yeah, and they really took away his big triumphant return in the reboot.
I know, dude. That was the biggest. That was honestly, that was probably one of the biggest cock teases of a show I've ever experienced. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking incredible. And obviously he was in it, but it wasn't like, I thought it was going to be.
They just sort of added him in so they can throw him in trailers and you could have some nostalgia. He had no meaningful. Actually.
And they set it up to, he could have been like the guy.
Yeah, and he actually did. What he did ended up being meaningful. Like he's the one who.
He was the story. He was.
I'm not trying to ruin the show.
Yeah,
so.
Whatever. But I mean, it's been out for whatever now. If you haven't watched it, you're a fucking idiot. So
it's only 2 years. Anyway,
I know, and that was such a good season too. And the ending was the worst. You're literally the only person that was like, "Oh, that ending was fantastic." It's the worst fit ending
I didn't say
ever.
it was fantastic. I'm like, I didn't hate it as much as the rest of the world.
Fucking terrible, dude. That season was so good up to that point.
It was
so good.
Very good. It was
so
very
good.
Although I did hate the little Dexter. His son sucked.
Well, that's the whole point. That's why the ending fucking sucked. Because, like, dude, really? Like, really? After everything he did for you, fucking really? Jesus.
Unappreciable.
Fucking loser, literally. I wouldn't even do that to my own dad.
Jesus. Anyway, Marina Rodriguez.
I said I wouldn't.
There's a lot of things that we wouldn't do. That
you already broke down the fight. You about to break down the fight again? We're done.
Is both of our picks.
Oh, okay.
And if you want to see what we're going to do with DraftKings, or if we have any bets on her, I will tell you right now, I do. Head on over to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member, and unlock all of those bets and the picks and everything else for only $10 a month. Where is this question? This needs to be addressed. Is Angelo a donut or a bagel guy? Bagel all day. I'll eat a bagel.
Donuts all day. Bagels suck.
No, fuck donuts. I love bagels, man. Ooh, I love bagels.
Bagels suck.
There's a bagel place up here. It's not good. I don't think they're Jewish. You need Jewish bagels. Like,
whoa.
No, it's not a whoa. It's not a whoa thing.
There's that Anne Franke thing again. There's 3.
That's on you, man. I haven't said her name once. But anyway, you need Jewish bagels. It's called Legacy Bagel. It's not bad. It's not nothing. And I think isn't an Einstein Bagels right there. I prefer not to go.
Go ahead.
I prefer not to go full chain when I can eat local. D says cinnamon raisin. No, I used to be cinnamon raisin, toasted, heavy cream cheese. But now I'm an everything bagel with heavy cream cheese. Sometimes I'll throw some chive cream cheese in there.
When I was a
veggie cream cheese.
When I was a kid, there was had been when they first opened or something, but an Einstein opened in town, and we would go and I'd get the cinnamon sugar bagel. I mean, because those things are fucking like this big, you know. Oh my god,
that's a donut.
So good.
Yeah. See, well, I'm not a big of like sugary, like I'm not that.
Yeah, your mom when she was here made a whole fucking 3 fucking Tupperware things full of chocolate chip cookies for you.
That wasn't for me. That was for the girls.
Yeah, well,
and you took some home.
Didn't
you take some home?
Yeah, you're never gonna get that Tupperware thing back. I'll tell you. You're never gonna get that thing back. Let's hope not.
Jacob addressed the Angelo comments. I didn't see what those were. All right, let's move on. We are on the co-main event of the evening. Next up at UFC Vegas 79, we have Bryce Mitchell taking on Dan Ige in what is a pretty solid co-main event. Bryce Mitchell 15-1 overall. He's 4-1 in his last 5, and he is coming off that very first and only loss in his career to Ilia Topuria. He's taking on Dan Ige 17-6 overall. 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight win streak. What is that? An everything bagel with cream cheese. Yeah, I sure do. I sure do. Everybody had comments for me with that bagel. I ate that on the way to Nashville. I sent it to a couple other people.
You got to really watch your blood pressure in altitude. You know that?
Yeah, well, I'm fine.
Like your blood
clots. He's taking on Dan. Yeah, it's an everything bagel with heavy cream cheese. That woman understood the assignment.
We're talking about heavy. That's why was there a TikTok where the guy's like, what he's like, I'll take everything with a pound. A pound. He's like, I'll make sure you understood me. A pound of cream cheese, and they fucking did it too.
This dude says he also lives in Prosper. Mass man, yes, I am in Prosper.
Oh, here we go.
And I go to that bagel spot. Yeah. East Lake. Oh, shut up, Daniel Covert, moron. Anyway. He's taking on Dan Ige. I should start this beginning all over again. He's taking on Dan Ige. Dan Ige is 17-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's riding that 2-fight win streak, just to recap. Bryce Mitchell, dominant wrestler, as we know. From Arkansas, one of the best wrestling states in this country. I do that sarcasm every time we break him down. Arkansas has, no real meaningful wrestling standouts as far as the country is concerned.
Tell that to downtown TJ Brown, motherfucker.
But Bryce Mitchell has managed to turn himself into a very good wrestler inside the cage. He averages about 3 takedowns per fight with an accuracy of 44%. So he is diving at legs to get that done. Well, the emphasis here is 3 takedowns per fight. We broke down Jacob Malkoun earlier, 7 takedowns per fight. The difference is not, Jacob's a better wrestler than Bryce. That's not how you measure somebody's effectiveness in the grappling and wrestling department with the stats. The effectiveness is the fact that Bryce Mitchell's control time is through the roof. When he takes you down, you cannot get rid of him. You absolutely cannot get rid of him. He will have incredible scrambles. He will stick to you like I think it's 8th layer of skin, right? You have 7, so he's the 8th layer of skin, and he's impossible to shake. So the 3 takedowns is 1 per round. He's not a wild finisher. He does have very good jiu-jitsu, but he's not finishing people left and right. He is coming off of that loss to Ilia Topuria where he just got the absolute shit beat out of him. Just straight up, just beat to shit, bell to bell. He had 1 takedown in there. Everybody was like, oh my God. And then he just got absolutely thud-womped. He's taking on Dan Ige. Dan Ige is a fantastic kickboxer. He's got speed. He's got power. He's also got really good BJJ and underrated wrestling. His takedown defense is going to look low. It's 56%. But if you look at who he's fighting, the takedowns he's defended, it's actually much better than that 56%. He's done nothing but fight killers for the last 3-4 years. His most recent win was over Nate Landwehr, also a come forward wrestler. He defended four of those takedowns. And listen, I'll speed this up.
Whoa. Nate Landwehr's a come forward wrestler? Is that how you describe Nate Landwehr?
He's going to stay in your face like an absolute savage and then shoot takedowns. Yes. Oh, so Dan Ige just defended 4 takedowns from a non-wrestler who's just spamming takedowns. Get the fuck out of here. I do think Bryce Mitchell wins this fight. What I will say is Bryce Mitchell striking absolutely sucks. If he can't get a takedown, he is screwed. He has nothing to offer. The only reason I am like insanely low confidence in Bryce, I'm not betting on this fight at all, is because A, we know for a fact Dan Ige is a savage. He's tough, and he has fought some of the best people on the planet. The second time Bryce fought anybody in the rankings, he got the crap kicked out of him. The other problem with Bryce, and again, I'm picking Bryce to win because I think that's a nonstop wrestling and Dan Ige has wrestling holes. It's that simple. But Bryce Mitchell's got a couple of issues. First of all, he pulled out of his last fight with the red or the purple shit, whatever. Pulled out of his last fight with some random injury with Movsar Evloev.
That was just die for the animals. Go ahead.
After he pulled out of that fight, he was going on and on. I'm poor. I can't afford my life. I have no money. Like on and on about that. Then he put out a rap song to help cover those financial woes.
Great song, by the way.
Then just last week, he's like crying on camera because his ex-girlfriend...
Crying?
Yeah,
all you're saying is I have an ex-wife that cut down my fruit trees, and I'm worried if somebody's in Arkansas, she might come and kill my animals. She might kill my dogs. I'm worried if you guys are around Arkansas, the cops ain't going to help me. She cut down my fruit trees. I'm worried about what she's going to do to my farm.
Exactly. Okay?
He wasn't crying. And
after dude, look at his eyes. That dude was crying. And then all these videos started surfacing of him like bashing through a glass window with other... Anyway, point being, dude's kind of a mess these last couple of months, and I don't trust a mess at 2-1 odds, but I do think he wins this fight, and I'm basing that off of what he has done already inside the cage. Jakey boy, what do you think?
Listen, I know that you don't understand the blue collar man, right? Because you grew up white collar. All your friends are just money. I mean, all your friends' parents made the stock market money in the 80s and 90s. None of your friends work white collar. So when problems arise in the white collar life, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem for the whole family. It affects everything. It affects everything in their lives. But I'll tell you right now, being from the heart and soul, the Midwest, right here, we got it right on the shirt, the Midwest chopping, the heart of the earth, Indiana, blue collar workers. Yeah, that they got shit going on in their personal lives. It doesn't affect their fucking work. I'll tell you right now, we had our garage being built on, and my dad, I'm telling you right now, my dad would have a case of beer for those guys afterwards, and they would sit and drink beers with my father till 2, 3 fucking in the morning. Probably had other issues going on at home, and they showed up at fucking 6 a.m. the next day every fucking day. Blue-collar people, they don't give a fuck about nothing. They're going to be at work. They're going to put in the work. They're going to put in their time, and Bryce Mitchell's going to come in, ignore all the nonsense, because that's what blue-collar people do, and he's going to come in, get the takedowns, the control, and he's going to win this fight. I do worry a little bit about Dan Ige because he is a little bit of a pocket, Ilya in that right. Doesn't have the same wrestling, but he's got some good power in his hands, as you already mentioned, and Bryce does get hit. He's shown he can take a shot against Ilya, but eventually that started wearing him down, and then Ilya was kind of tossing him around the octagon. But he did even take down Ilya. A lot of people forget that he took down Ilya in the end of that first round. He got Ilya down the ground. I have no doubt that he can get Dan Ige down to the ground, but, he's going to be my play. I'm not, crazy confident, because if he is going to win this fight, it should be dominant, and minus 200 might be the best value on this card, but he's not a super dangerous guy on the ground. And,
it'll be a decision for sure.
It could be weird things have happened. I like Dan Ige. 50K Dan Ige is kind of my dude, man. I picked him in a lot of fights. He's a very tough dude. Knows what he's doing on the ground, so he can stay safe, but he can get taken down. So,
and he just beat back-to-back dudes that were desperate to take him down. Beat them both. So, we'll see.
No. It's absolutely...
Nate Landwehr was desperate.
He's not a wrestler.
He's a come forward. He's going to strike with you.
If he was desperate, he would have been shooting 15 fucking 20 takedowns. He shot 4 randomly just to change up because he was getting the shit beat out of him is what was happening.
Okay, so he was pressuring forward, shooting takedowns, getting absolutely
he was not
stuffed. Okay. Anyway, we're both on the Bryce Mitchell side. I'm I literally wrote on my confidence level on premium, insanely low. I'm less confident in Bryce Mitchell than anybody else that I picked on this card. Definitely. It's because of the personal stuff, honestly.
I just think even as a fighter, he's still a little bit of a wild card. We still don't really know if he is competing at this level. And by the way, too, I said in my quick pick video that he's got sneaky power, and somebody's like, "Oh my God, sneaky power! He has,
it is an
he
absurd
has
thing to
no KOs or TKOs in his fucking career." He fucking sat down Barbosa. That's what I'm talking about, people. Against a very dangerous striker, he sat him down. He knocked him down. So he's got fucking sneaky power. Relax. I understand he's not knocking people out. That's what sneaky power is. He's got no KOs, but he dropped the guy. Get it fucking straight.
Yeah, dweeb. $8,800 in DraftKings. If Bryce wins and it's a Bryce fight, that will be well worth the score, because $5 for a takedown, control times, and that's all this dude will do. 5 points for a takedown. It'll be mostly control time, because I mentioned he's only averaging 3 takedowns per fight because his control is so good, but that control time will rack up. So he could potentially be worth it at that $8,800. Danny Gay, only way he's worth that 74 is if you think he wins, because he's not going to wrestle. It's just going to be, whatever strikes he's able to land. And if he's getting taken down, it's not going to be many. Interesting fight. I'm just going to watch this one and enjoy it. But if you want to see any bets that we may have, I do think I have. I'll have to check. I don't know if I have a round prop on this. But if I did, you would see it at premium. WeWantPicks.com. Just click become a member at the top. $2 super chat from Ray Torres Jr. Jacob, this guy. This is worth $10 a month. Thank you very much, Ray.
I appreciate that, big dog. Appreciate that, big dog.
Then $2 from All Point 5 TV. White collar laugh. Is that laughing? Angry laughing? Cracking up laughing emoji?
That's that white collar stuff again.
I grew up in Connecticut. Connecticut's bougie. I'm not going to argue that.
Blue collar, blue collar, blue collar. All my friends' parents were contractors or plumbers or electricians or pretty much all of them. Blue collar, blue collar.
Congratulations. Was your dad a manual laborer?
I was around it. I grew up in the country, Trafalgar, Indiana. Should have been a cowboy. Should have learned to rope and ride.
Very extra. We have one left. We're 2 hours and 12 minutes into an 11-fight mediocre card. It's dragging.
Your fault.
Let's go. Next up, at UFC Vegas 79, we have the main event of the evening. Rafael Fiziev, or Fiziev, interchangeable, taking on Mateusz Gamrot. Rafael Fiziev is 12-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5 years, coming off that very close loss to Justin Gaethje. He's taking on Mateusz Gamrot, 22-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that bounce-back win over Jalen Turner, which, if you remember, was short notice. This is a very, very good main event, frankly. We got Rafael Fiziev, one of the best strikers in the division, the Tiger Muay Thai striking coach. If you don't know Tiger Muay Thai, it's one of the most decorated Muay Thai gyms on planet Earth. And he's the coach. And a few fights ago, he fought the coach before him, and he beat his ass. He beat the brakes
Took
off
his
that
job and then sent him to fucking retirement, basically.
Beat the absolute piss out of that guy. So he's that good of a striker. Unbelievably technical, very, very powerful, very dangerous, and a full-blown dog. He doesn't have any quit in him, and he will continue to come forward, continue to fight. The problem, though, is he is willing to get into a dogfight. He will be the most technical striker in pretty much every matchup he's ever going to get in the UFC, and he will still get sucked into a bar brawl like he did with Justin Gaethje. He's coming off that loss to Justin Gaethje. I think he won that fight, but I can understand giving it to Justin. It was close enough that, it's not worth arguing over.
I was on the Fiziev side, and he didn't win.
Yeah, I thought he did, but it was ridiculously close. But it was very obvious early Fiziev was the much, much better striker. He just got sucked into that brawl, and I've mentioned this last week, the week before. The old adage is you box a brawler or you brawl a boxer. And he is the clean boxer, and he ended up brawling. And that's just didn't work out for him. He's taking on Mateusz Gamrot. This dude, non-stop, tried and true wrestler. Non-stop wrestler. Phenomenal, nasty wrestler. His striking is actually pretty decent. He's got pretty good striking. It's technical. It'll be in your face. He can hang. The problem is he gets dropped. If you go through all the stats, he has 7 fights in the UFC. He has been dropped, knocked down officially in 4 of them. That's a lot. That's more than half for the math. And the reality is, though, if you look at it, so I looked at this, my gut reaction was Fiziev is going to finish Gamrot. The dude gets dropped. I just have it in my head. He's just constantly getting dropped. But then I looked at it a little closer. I went back. I watched some of those. It's like bouncing a ball. It falls, it hits, it comes right back up exactly where it started. He's never on ice skates. He doesn't ever need more than a half a second to get back where he was or to shake any cobwebs. It's a very weird drop. Then people are going to say, oh, he has cardio issues. The only time you ever saw him, his cardio wasn't great, was Jalen Turner on short notice. And I was talking to Josh, the web guy, today about this fight. My pick is Fiziev. I think Fiziev is just such a good, dangerous striker that Gamrot's going to have to fight a perfect fight to win this fight. Literally a perfect fight for 25 minutes to win this fight. And any mistake could be a real big problem for him. And I was talking to Josh about that, the web guy. And if I remember correctly, he was like, I agree. He's like, if you told me that was Arman Tsarukyan fighting Fiziev, I would have picked him in a second. And I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'd be like, yeah, Arman Tsarukyan wins that fight. Meanwhile, Gamrot beat Arman Tsarukyan. And they're basically the same fighters. And that really got me thinking. So now I'm much less confident. I still am going to lean Fiziev here. And the last thing I'll mention before I turn it over, the other thing giving me a little on that side is if you go to Henry Cejudo's YouTube channel, he does a full breakdown of why Mateusz Gamrot has the best takedowns in the UFC. And he has a big, beautiful touchscreen TV, and he's literally drawing with a marker the circles that Gamrot's running as soon as he touches legs. It is impressive. He could grind on Fiziev, break this dude halfway through. I'm going to lean Fiziev because of all the knockdowns, but again, they're almost meaningless, but we'll find out on Saturday. What do you think, Jakey boy?
First things first, I love both these guys. I have been very high, and you know me as well. I mean, I've been very high on Mateusz Gamrot coming into the UFC during his career. I've said that he can be a former or a future champion. I said that he was going to absolutely smoke Dariush, so I just want to make sure everyone understands before I break this fight down. I'm not a Gamrot hater. I fucking love this guy, and he is very, very talented. And I actually think that if there wasn't that knockdown by Dariush, he won that fight. You can't just Dariush was doing nothing in that fight.
All he did was defend takedowns.
Yeah, I mean Gamrot is just absolutely nonstop. But this just feels like a terrible matchup for him. And the big thing that I keep seeing all week is Fiziev. Yeah, he fought RDA. He went 5 rounds at RDA, and RDA defended all those takedowns. And he got the knockout in the 5th round. So all these question marks about his cardio. It's very weird because both these guys, by the way, too, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but very, very tough. Even if they get tired, neither one of these guys is a quitter when they get tired. So even if fatigue sets in, I expect both these guys to be fine in the 4th and the 5th rounds. But in that RDA fight, a lot of people are going to bring up Gamrot and be like, but Gamrot is a better wrestler. He's never fought a wrestler with the skill set of Gamrot. That is 100% true. 100% true. He has never fought somebody with the wrestling skill set of Gamrot. 100% true. On the flip side, Gamrot has never come close to fighting somebody with the striking prowess, speed, and power of a Rafael Fiziev. So yeah, you can look at it one way and be like, he's never fought that. But we've seen Fiziev be able to at least defend takedowns, win fights that way. At least we know he can do that. Against Gamrot, even against people that aren't at the same striking level as Fiziev, I'm getting real excited now. Even against the people that they don't even have the same striking as Fiziev, he still runs into issues. Against people that don't have that same skill level, he is getting dropped on those entries. He is getting hit. It's just like, so yeah, I understand that Gamrot's the best wrestler that Fiziev has ever faced. But I've seen Fiziev defend takedowns, work through that, and still find finishes. Against Gamrot has never fought somebody this level, and he's still getting hit. He's still getting dropped. I think there is a great opportunity here for Fiziev to find shots early and put this guy away early. I know he's never been finished, Gamrot. But just because something has never happened doesn't mean that it can't happen. I love Gamrot. If he comes in and gets all the control and all this stuff, I get it. But Fiziev is just so fucking fast and so good and so strong and so powerful. It's just like, he's fucking, if you look at him right in the eyes, like square in the eyes right now, that guy is fucking beautiful. He's a beautiful man. He's got the shaved head now, the mythical fighter, shaved head, Rafael Fiziev. I think he can finish this guy in the first 2 rounds, honestly. And I think he does that. I got Fiziev.
Yeah, I'm on his side too, but I am, we'll see, man. I may full switch by the end of the weekend because, frankly...
And you talk about the Armin thing too. Armin is a much better striker than Gamrot. He's a much better striker. And Armin arguably he won that fight. But so if you're talking about Armin coming against Fiziev, yeah, it is probably, I probably would pick Armin because he is a better striker. He can hang on the striking more than Gamrot can. I think Gamrot has the opportunity to get fucked up in this fight.
It'll be interesting, but do you hear what I'm saying about the getting dropped? The dude bounces right. He's never on ice skates. He's not rocked. He drops.
No, I agree, but I just can't because there's even people in the Discord too, which Discord's 100% free. You can join Discord. It's in the description below. People are talking like, yeah, he's probably gonna get dropped, but I think he survives. And it's like, yeah, that might happen. But you're putting money on a guy just hoping that he can survive getting dropped. Yeah. It's like, fuck, man. He's never fought somebody with the speed of Fiziev.
Yeah, and I'm not. Because I may end up flipping my pick the more I stare at it, but plus 126 is not worth it. If he was plus 200, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's dabble. The best wrestler in the division, let's do it. Let's see what happens. But plus 126, I'll watch. I'll enjoy. Especially going into a break week. Nothing worse than losing going into a break week. Then you're stuck betting on Contender Series, and that shit sucks. $8,500 in DraftKings.
We got Artem. Artem said he went 5-1, I think, tonight.
There he goes. So finally a card was somewhat normal and not just wild.
I don't know.
Well, $8,500 for Rafael Fiziev in DraftKings. I think Gamrot might be the better DraftKings play at $7,700, especially if he's going to get some of those takedowns and get things going. You probably disagree because you think Fiziev could win in the second round.
Well, that's what somebody said. Gamrot wrestled Armin for 5 rounds. What do you think he's going to do to a kickboxer? Get knocked out because that's what kickboxers do. Armin's not a kickboxer. Armin's a wrestler. He out-wrestled a wrestler, but he fucking... Good luck.
Get knocked out. Well, I'm looking forward to this fight. What are their ages? Hold on. 32 and 30. Yeah, they're still pretty young. I'm looking forward. This is a very solid main event. The rest of this card is a little but the co-main and the main are actually very solid.
I think there's some good matchups. One of the things that I've noticed this week too, and I don't know if you feel the same, props to me feel very hard because it feels like there's a lot
round lines seem easy this week.
I don't know, because to me, it seems like there's a lot of dangerous fighters that are fighting durable guys, if that makes sense. It just seems like there's a lot of matchups where it's like, I could see like, oh shit, somebody could, like Ricardo Ramos. It's like, oh shit. It's like, oh shit, I could see Ricardo, but then it's like, he's against a very durable guy. It just seems like a lot of those matchups. I just played a lot of just straight money lines this week, to be honest with you.
Oh, I hear you. I have a bunch of props going on the round lines. I'm loving the overs. I'm basically over on everything. I'm loving all the overs. Especially though, we got a lot of 1.5 round lines this week. Love them all.
I don't know.
Shut up. Shut up with the noises. Let's go ahead and shut this thing down. Guys, WeWantPicks.com/bets. I will send you $50. All you need to do is go to that website, use our link to sign up with any one of our partners, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing, so they're going to pay me. I'm going to break off a chunk of that money, and I'm going to send it right back to you as a thank you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. I will send $50.
Oh, my God. What the fuck is going on?
What happened?
You struggling a little bit?
No. What happened?
I worry.
Line movement tracker, one of the many tools and pieces of information, data that you will get after you become a premium member. First thing you're going to need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. You'll unlock this and much, much more. Line movement tracker is going to give you opening odds, current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every single fighter on every single card. You're also going to get detailed data, metrics, and analytics to help you find your spots. This is 38 columns of data to help you look into the fights, help scare you away from a fight, or maybe you drag you back into one. You're also going to get courses. We literally have courses. One of the most common questions we get is, what is DraftKings Fantasy? Well, our first course is up, and it will walk you through exactly what DraftKings Fantasy is, how to get started, what it all means, and how to start building some lineups, which I'll tell you right now, playing DraftKings Fantasy, even if it's for a couple of dollars with friends, makes the night a lot more enjoyable. And it's more than just me and Red Handsome over here. You're also going to get Running Mouth MMA, Artem, and the Pick Doctor. That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different people.
Well,
you breakdowns
it's
of
5 people and 2 bots.
Am I one of the bots?
If you want to claim it.
Anyway, guys, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. Jacob is pretending he is coordinated. Any last words for the people?
I'll be honest with you. Lock of the week this week should be interesting.
I don't like anybody. So it is what it is. All right. Adios.